Oh, still concerned only with vengeance? If you challenge Shang Tsung now, you will lose your life and your soul.
He is going to pay for my brother's death.
You're not ready. Look, it has begun. It has begun!
Say one more thing about Lord of the Rings, Hank.
Well, I also really liked in the Fellowship of the Ring extended edition where it was Galadriel giving them all their gifts.
It's Mortal Kombat Week, son. Combat Week at the Dar.
It's combat time.
You asked.
Well, it's just because that without her giving the gift scene.
I'm just going to look this dude.
The part in Return of the King where he just pulls out the thing to light his way in the cave,
Henry, enough. No, enough Lord of the Rings extended edition talk.
I forgot how much I like those movies.
Not
really good.
Not during Combat Week, son.
Blu-ray
Combat Week.
Whoa.
I'm Chris Antista.
Henry Gabba.
Brett Elston,
and our special guest, MK.
Yes, the appropriately initialed Matt Keast.
Yes, Matty Keast. How you doing, buddy? I did not know you were a Mortal Kombat fan. I had just taken you for like a strict PC gamer, but
that's what everybody does.
God,
I did
I'm
that
just
too.
a PC gamer.
Well, I mean,
I grew up on the Atari 2600,
I know.
the NES, Super NES. I will tell you something. When I worked at LucasArts, when they first started me there and they asked me, like, what are your favorite ways to play games? I was like, pretty much anything but the PC.
Boom.
I was all against PC gaming back then.
Also, your eyes lit up when we were talking about something MK, and like, I don't know, I had never pegged you for a fighting game fan or a Mortal Kombat fan.
I was obsessed with Street Fighter 2 when it came out.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's why we had this little MK week, because I have moved on from loving MK. But it was fascinating to go back through all of it this week, and I'm still having a good time researching everything Mortal Kombat.
It's really fun to revisit. Like today, we just posted the history of Mortal Kombat, which I rewrote heavily a feature that was turned into us, but then I grabbed a bunch of images for it. But just in going back and playing Mortal Kombat 1, which at the time was very clear. I probably don't want to get into this later. I guess.
Yeah, we should save this.
But no, I've been having a lot of fun with especially the first one, which I always kind of remembered as a total crap, like being disguised as bloody. The bloodiness would disguise a crappy game, but I'm like, you know what? It is kind of a busted, boring, rigid, silly game, but it's still stupidly fun.
Still funny. We were sitting here with Matt, and he said it like MK2 was where it became a great game.
That's the height.
Yeah, that's still the highlight. I mean, 3. When you get to Mortal Kombat 3, they introduced the run button and the dial-a combo where everyone had preset high punch, low kick, back low kick, run. Like, you couldn't experiment that much, so it wasn't like Street Fighter.
Here's the thing, gameplay-wise, that set Mortal Kombat apart, even the first one. When you were kicking someone's ass, it was like the most humiliating in any like fighting game at the time. Like, when you got beaten in Street Fighter, it was okay, but like, you could kick someone's ass in even the first Mortal Kombat in a way that was so brutal that it made the other person feel like they were helpless.
Was noticing in 1, there's just like Raiden can knee somebody and they'll fly across the screen. And
everybody has an up close low kick.
There's no force strong enough to do that with like just a knee, and it looks really silly. So there is something slightly humiliating about, can I say, a good combo being pulled off in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 combo is a very loose term. There are still some interesting, not quite cancels like Street Fighter, like interrupting a move into a fireball or into a dragon punch. It's not quite that level, but you can jump in with like a high kick scorpion, and that makes any high kick in the air makes them fly off their feet and they land on their back. But in the first Mortal Kombat, if you're fessing up with Scorpion, you can do a high kick, and as they're falling back, Scorpion lands, use the harpoon, pull them back out of the air before they hit the ground, and then uppercut them. That does a lot of damage. That's kind of the beginning and end of combos in Mortal Kombat.
All right.
And then the usual Sub-Zero ice ball uppercut slide, which is...
Ice ball.
Yes, that's the silly part.
No, I didn't remember what it was called. Is it Is that the official term?
Unlike
The ice
Street
ball?
Fighter, they don't say the names of the moves they're doing.
Oh, when I played one of the games in this list, they do give it a name, and in the offshoots, it does retain the name ball. It's very weird.
And it's not a ball in the second Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
anyways.
it's like droplets almost.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I always like Liu Kang's knee balls.
knee balls.
Where you lift up and you
Woo, woo.
and
God, where are my Liu
You know,
Kang
he's shooting
sound
him out of
effects?
his hands, right?
oh, I thought I always
He's
imagined
pulling
it
them
came
from his belt.
knee.
It's just a fancy little stance that he does. When
Yeah,
he
because
shoots
you can do it in the if you do it in the air, his animation is more like he's throwing the fireball because his knees aren't up in the air.
Which do you guys feel more like, a Sub-Zero or a Scorpion? I always like Sub-Zero.
I'm a Scorpion.
I was partial to Scorpion as well.
Yeah,
I like
Sub-Zero.
I like Sub-Zero. Don't get me wrong. That's who I started with because he was cool.
Yeah, exactly. I like blue more than yellow. And
I was grinning, waiting for a joke. No boing, Chris. That was a good joke.
I'm looking
Chris
for
is in a
MK
sound effects
stuff.
apocalypse right now.
I'm looking for Mortal Kombat stuff.
But yeah, I like Sub-Zero the most. I like blue more. Blue's cool,
But
and then
him
also
in 3 without the fucking mask.
Yeah,
And
that-
I don't
that's-
like that. That's
I don't
like that at
kind
all.
of reinvention.
And the more that they change Sub-Zero to the point where, and this is a great example of the series just going off the rails by like Deception or one of Deadly Alliance or Deception. He's got like fur trim around his head.
Deception. He looks like Shredder.
He looks like Shredder.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes,
he looks
same
like
helmet
Shredder.
as
Yes.
Shredder.
And it's because
And Ninja Turtles 2, the same helmet.
He's a Russian
No, the rebirth
Shredder.
at 1.
and then he's like, oh, it's because he discovered his cryomancer ancestry, and it's like, please stop.
Obviously.
You are you.
Why is it so loud?
You are adding story to the parts we didn't want more story. Like
That's why I like their new designs in the
the
new
new
game,
one,
'cause
they took a step back a little bit.
They are, because Scorpion and Sub-Zero are subtly different in design, but they still
Look
from
very,
afar look the
very
same.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I might save that for the review next week. Never mind.
Yeah, because we do have a review coming out written by Brett Elston.
Yeah.
Because there's a new Mortal Kombat game, and
I've heard of this.
again, it's been honestly, it's been fascinating to go through all of this.
Yeah.
And I was
So that brings us to
parentheses misfortunate enough to do the top 7 this week, or at the it turned into a top 7 at the last minute.
It's always an honor to do a top 7, though.
Not when you work your balls off till Friday night at 9 and realize you have to do a top 7 before Monday. But
Combat time!
it is totally combat time. And
I've only done one top 7. But,
This had-
I knew ahead of time.
this had not. What did I end up calling it? I don't even fucking remember.
top 7 most
absurd-
absurd Mortal Kombat offshoots.
Yeah, I just wanted to do an article on like all the weird Mortal Kombat offshoots, and it was difficult. Once it became a top 7, it had to have a fine list. And I played Shaolin Monks. That game is awesome. There's
Yeah.
nothing absurd about it, so it can't be included anymore.
Right, it's
So
good.
I had to go looking for absurd stuff.
I liked how you had it on your list for so long, and then you played
I
it. you're
played
like,
it on Friday.
This is great. And then Michael's like, yeah, of
Michael
course it's
and
great.
Eric,
Duh.
like, well, why am I doing this? You know all this shit about Mortal Kombat. But no, this I think we got together a very good list.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
kept the TV show off, which I got the first couple episodes of the Mortal Kombat live action TV show.
Conquest. I watched that every Monday because it was on after WCW Nitro.
Yeah, brother.
A perfect melding.
It was, and it really worked. I ended up watching. There was an episode with Noob Saibot in it, and I was very happy about that.
The demo does. It stars Kung Lao.
Yes,
I mean, I was talking about that with you guys. And we recorded all the fatalities because we're posting all the fatalities today.
which I spent a lot of time
We
on.
decided to fap doing that because you're like, I can do it in 5 minutes. I'm like, you're full of shit, and you totally did. You did
Timeline for
it's
Mortal
like
Kombat
3
1,
minutes.
4 minutes, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's with a pit
I knew
fatality.
he could do it.
I don't. Yeah, you
Mortal Kombat-
you saw how much I forgot. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one. I forgot there was one fatality. Per,
Yeah,
per
in the first
person.
one.
And there's like seven characters.
Mortal Kombat 2, there's 12 characters, and everyone has two
Two
fatalities,
fatalities.
except for Johnny Cage, who has 3.
God.
So that took a lot longer. That's from Mortal Kombat 3.
No, it's not.
Well, what's number 7?
Number 7, most absurd Mortal Kombat offshoots.
I don't remember.
The Grid.
It looks like Monday Night Combat.
It is exactly
Yeah.
like Monday Night Combat, and I
I
never saw
forgot
this
about that.
until we went down to California Extreme.
Good time.
This July, if you're in the area.
Yeah, it was great, but I'd never seen this game before, and there's a probably pretty good reason for that. It was like Midway's. It's literally Midway's last original arcade game.
Yep.
I think their last one was like San Francisco Rush Deluxe Edition.
Right.
But this is literally their last game. They're looking at PC games, online games, LAN tournaments going on. So they created this quite full-heartedly created this. What was it? 4 to 8 player. You need 8 cabinets.
Hooked up.
And at fucking CAX, they
Like a
did
circle,
it.
yeah.
They hooked up the 8 cabinets. So playing with 8 people in Monday Night Combat live was awesome.
Yeah,
like,
everyone had
fun
a stand-up unit. In fact, that 8-player the grid setup was how I used to discern where I was in the arcade at that California Extreme.
It's a great landmark.
Because I'm like, oh, there's all the grids.
Because if you put them together, I guess Midway sent you this giant circular marquee
like
that
a V.
would hold all of them together. And it was really, I wanted to find it really difficult to emulate because it is the last game based on architecture that like 2 games used at the very end of the arcade scene. But it's the grid, and it's developed partially by the Midway team, the Mortal Kombat team. And of course, I
think that was Midway Chicago.
I don't know. Because I read somewhere something about Ed Boon being associated with it, but I couldn't find that when actually the article was going live. But the Mortal Kombat team did work on it, and I have a little clip from it. But you're right, man. It is.
They
essentially,
couldn't. But the Midway team couldn't resist having Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
It's a bloody Monday Night Combat. I found it.
It's time to play the grid.
Oh my god!
Cyrus.
It's like the same voice almost.
Scorpion is the winner.
God, what does that voice sound like?
Actually,
to me?
when I looked at that, I was surprised. The presentation is so much the same as Monday Night Combat.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a goofy.
It sounds like the fucking race announcer from Beyond Good and Evil. Get the heck out! Oh, there's Liu Kang.
No, only Noob Saibot's Sub-Zero, but yeah, this does mark the absolute last appearance of these characters in an arcade game ever. Yeah, I'm making this list. It's like I had made it because I want, like, Mortal Kombat to me is a little silly, a little stupid. But they've always had fun. The team has always had fun and always had a sense of humor, going from Toasty to, like, fucking Ermac's a character.
Yeah.
Ermac's a character.
As of Trilogy.
Yes.
And Noob Saibot is it like Noob Boon?
Yeah.
Boon and Tobias.
There's characters made out of inside jokes. There's wacky shit all over the place. They've never taken everything all that seriously. I don't know when we went. I love the point you brought up during the FAB. Why you love Mortal Kombat?
Because of Big Trouble in Little China.
Because of Big Trouble in Little China. Matt thought it was like the game embodiment of Big Trouble in Little China.
It was.
The first game especially, because it's made to look like a martial arts tournament with a bunch of eccentric fighters, which is, in a roundabout way, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes. So
like that's who Kurt Russell ends up having to fight.
A kooky, quirky, big, like...
a shape-shifting old man.
Yes.
Well, and Raiden. I mean, if Raiden was not from that movie...
Raiden is totally taken directly from that movie.
It was really funny. On the same... At the Castro Theater, when the same night we saw Big Trouble in Little China, we also saw Bloodsport, which has the move they... Like, Johnny Cage's... split nut punches from that movie.
Fun fact, Mortal Kombat, before it became Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage's character was based on Jean-Claude Van Damme because Van Damme was supposed to be in his own game with him fighting digitized enemies. That fell through. That turned in a roundabout way became Mortal Kombat, which they were just trying to decide what to call it.
Fun fact, because I want to toot my own horn.
And they were going to call the game Fatality.
I was committed to this entry so much. You know how fucking hard it was? I did it twice this week. I found a goddamn video trailer for an arcade game. Twice. There was no place in the world to showcase a video for an arcade. There was no YouTube. There wasn't even a goddamn MPEG. I have no idea how this one I had to dig so fucking hard for, and I guarantee you nobody cares.
They would display them in arcades or use them to sell to people who buy arcade machines.
Games Radar is like the only website in the world now that has the grid trailer embedded for you to see, and I bet you won't care even after I give you the context. We'll move on to number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Puzzle Combat.
I hated using this one because it's just cute. It's like before the Wii came out and everybody included a bunch of worthless mini games to shake sticks at. Mortal Kombat just threw this in. Every time they made a game, they just made another mode that didn't cost you a dime. It was free.
Yeah, it was a cool value proposition.
It looks a little goofy. The game's not great.
You know, I wanted to like it because I'm a puzzle fighter aficionado.
Yeah.
And it just does not pass
muster. No, it's...
And I know it's free, but the controls are, like, clunky and sticky.
Which
and you can't have that.
You only need 4 directions in a puzzle game.
Yeah. And plus, we were playing it on a 360, and the stupid 360 D-pad meant that if you tried to press down to, like, drop your block, half the time it would jump to the side and go in the wrong slot.
Well, you gotta press up. Press up.
I don't think it had that. Did it have that functionality?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I took these screens, yes.
All right.
It did. Well, it did on the PS2 version.
But see, I wasn't.
All right.
It probably.
All right, but Puzzle Combat, it's just cute. It's a total fucking ripoff of Street Fighter with a slightly clever puzzle element. They didn't have fatalities; they had supers. And like I played a lot with Baraka, and he would use his arm blades to clear out the right and left columns of the board, and that's pretty silly. Some other people would. It didn't require the Mortal Kombat characters at all, and it wasn't until I watched the video of me doing it that I noticed all the things that were occurring below. They're actually kicking one another, presenting them with presents, doing like vaudevillian slapstick, and all that shit is happening below. But I got a picture for you so you can look at it at GamesRadar.com.
Number 5.
I forgot what it was.
Mortal Kombat Mythology.
How? I got
Sub-Zero.
I got this shit.
Now this game.
What can you say about this?
Well, it came about, I believe, after 3.
The 3.
So
They were riding high.
riding high, like two set the stage really high. 3 felt like it didn't peter out, but it kind of kept the same level. It didn't exceed it, because at least the arcades I was going to at the time, everyone didn't like totally freak out about 3 as much as they did about 2.
I think it required more change. Like it had another button.
And then another button, and they also introduced the whole combo thing, which was not like Mortal Kombat at all. So it was a totally different game. And some of the character designs were totally shit, like Stryker. And Cabal's not a great character design either. But he's a very useful character. He's pretty good.
The weird thing about mythology...
But that led into
it's sort
this.
of a noble effort. I think it was Ed Boon, John Tobias, the co-creators of Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon stuck with the one-on-one fighting game series. John Tobias, who designed all the characters and the design of the world, went off to make these offshoots, which were supposed to be like a concurrent part of Mortal Kombat throughout... foreseeing the end of the series, and this one released within 2 days or 2 weeks of Mortal Kombat 4, and it's exactly the same as Mortal Kombat 3. Same sprites, same controls, except they added a turn button so you could move to the left and attack people coming at you on both sides. It's a fighting game set like a side scroller, and it's kind of an ill-founded idea. But can you see how they think that'd be cool? Like, what if you took Mortal Kombat and brought it into its own?
I think it is a cool idea.
Well, you should play it because you.
No, I mean I have played it, but I'm saying that once I played the Tekken Force mode.
Yeah,
I was like, I was thinking this is how brawlers could evolve.
Yes.
Like you could take a brawler and actually make the combos as complex as a fighting game.
I agree.
It could be very
all the
interesting,
PS2.
but you have to be careful.
All the
in how you design it.
Xbox, Mortal Kombat games, Deception, Deadly Alliance, and Armageddon feature Conquest mode, which is essentially the same thing, a 3D adventure game that you use Mortal Kombat mechanics to get through, and you unlock stuff. And if you go back and play Conquest modes are still really good. They're still pretty good. Everybody's kind of like,
I don't know about that.
They're all right though, but I mean I think the idea was better executed within the same game if you're just going to use the same sprites, models, and mechanics.
But in the Conquest mode, I thought you encountered bosses or whatever, and then you just fight them as a normal Mortal Kombat versus mode. That's not really a brawler.
Well, I didn't actually play all of them. There's one in every game.
Well, it's such a sad. It was the beginning of the bad times for MK. Like this.
Well, this and 4 coming out together was like a real kick in the nuts.
And this
2
was,
weeks. That's a lot to ask.
This was their first big step. This was their step into that generation of consoles, and that was a bad generation for them. And this was the start of it. And so,
the whole PS1 and 64 era, all they had was this.
Hold on,
another game, but then also Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is a very slapdash compilation of Ultimate and then some other.
It's a very desperate move, very early.
It is,
and their success.
And this was Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero. It was supposed to be the first one of a whole new franchise.
And this is a case like
Remo Williams, the beginning.
Yes, the adventure begins.
or if you will, Backstreet Boys, The Hits, Chapter 1. They thought they would honestly have another greatest hits album.
But I actually remember I had got hyped for this, but didn't have a PS1 to play it on. But I've watched. There was a time when our Blockbuster Videos would rent you for free promo tapes of games that are coming out, and I rented one of this where it was just them talking up oh, this is going to be so awesome. It was just a behind-the-scenes sizzle reel.
When I keep seeing those on YouTube, and especially while covering Mortal Kombat this week, I don't know where those were presented. It was a
lot of them were internal retail employees.
I think
they would use those to sell to the buyers from Kmart.
They're not a fantastic production value, but they clearly required effort, and they knew people would see them. And I'm like, how? And I could think of like the Dreamcast or Saturn came with a preview disc, and I know they had some videos on there. But yeah, I forgot about the video rental thing where you could rent those videos for free.
I did the same thing before the N64 came out. There was the N64 tape.
Yeah,
where
there was a series of those.
Yeah, well, the one
starring John Lovitz.
The one I remember very clearly was where like they're presenting how super cool the N64 is, and there's a very long part where they're hanging out with Ken Lobb.
Yeah,
and Ken Lobb's like, "Look, you just touched it a little. Mario's walking. Now he's running."
Yeah.
And then after the credits, there was footage of GoldenEye 007.
Yeah.
Woot.
Yeah.
All right. I took some. Mythologies is probably most known today for its awful FMV sequences, which are a triumph of amazing. And the Nintendo 64 ones didn't get it because they couldn't. You
don't have cartridge can't hold it.
But it might be for the best, even though I think that game scored lower. Hold on. Here is.
It's a bad game.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero's voice, man, I did not imagine him this gruff and earnest.
I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen.
Let's get something straight. I am not a ninja. I am Lin Kuei. Scorpion was a ninja.
You guys didn't know that, did you? He's
Scorpion was a rival clan.
Nah, he's a ninja.
I remember with that
ninja.
I remember with that Lin Kuei stuff. It reminded me of like when you were playing with your friends on the playground as a little kid, and they're like, "I'm going to be a ninja all the way from China. I'm going to beat you up." And then somebody else would say, "Say stupid. Ninjas are from Japan." Like, no, I'm a Chinese ninja. They're even tougher.
And then he gets beat up and starts a comic book store.
See, when I see these video sequences, I like to imagine the director of these sequences.
Oh my god!
Because it's A or B. A, he's like, amazing, great job, that was incredible. Or B is like, fuck it, that was good enough.
Yeah,
we got to move on. We got 4 other things to shoot.
I am blown away. I mean, that wasn't particularly great, but the fact that we did it with $10,000 in 5 days to shoot, like we really have a lot to be proud of, guys.
No costumes.
Your peace of mind almost cost me this mission. Enough!
All right.
So cue Boston's peace of mind.
This amulet, it is the King Shinnok's power as an elder god.
Fucking Shinnok.
When returned to him, he will regain his powers and be freed from
boring
of the Netherrealm.
I thought Shao Kahn was...
Shao Kahn is nothing but a peasant ruler of a long-dead realm. Shinnok is the destroyer of all realms, including Khan's outworld.
Destroyer of all realms? You are insane. That amulet isn't worth the bronze it's molded from.
God, is that fucking Solid Snake?
It did prompt me to tweet after all this mortal... Does anybody know where I can get a non-magical amulet? Has such a thing ever existed? Will every amulet always bring about Armageddon? I'm sorry. I want a regular amulet.
Just for healing.
Just give me an amulet. I don't know what do you do with an amulet?
Or it holds a demon's soul inside of it.
But what is an amulet?
Some kind of artifact?
Other than something evil that has to be guarded by a mystic...
I don't know.
Military faction.
It's a jewel on a necklace.
I'm sure in the 17th century there were ladies with parasols going, let's go shopping for amulets today.
So like 100 years from now, there's going to be like all this quest is going to be over like spats or something like people were like 100 years ago.
Walkman.
Nah, it's the haunted horse cart. Look at that over there.
The only thing I can picture when you say spats is Scrooge McDuck's feet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
He doesn't want to get mugged.
My knowing of spats begins and ends with Scrooge McDuck.
Pretty much. That's the only reference point I have.
have one more, and it's an amazing confrontation between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and I have no idea what brought this on.
Who are you? I am a dead man. But somehow you have retained your mortality.
I'm trapped in a can.
You are vulnerable to death. I am Scorpion. You killed me in cold blood.
I had no choice.
You could have let me live.
Then I would be the dead one.
But my clan and family would still be alive.
What?
It wasn't enough to kill me. You had to destroy every last remnant of my being, including my wife and child.
You're mistaken. Quan Chi is responsible for their deaths.
Words will not save you. Lin Kuei, warrior.
And then
I like they have no sense of beats in that. Like it sounds like two different guys recorded at different times, and the person who edited it together, because he's like, I am a dead what?
I think it would only be appropriate if they were played by the same actor. Because I think Michael had found like a video of like all the.
It's Daniel Pacina.
Well, all the pre-effects work. Like it's just green screens and these people walking around. I gotta move on to number 4 if somebody can tell me what it is.
Number 4 is Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Oh Jesus Christ!
You almost didn't want this on the list, but then when we
I
saw
lost
the
something at
pictures,
the last second.
Yeah. No. It was. Oh man, I can't believe that we accepted it as a real thing
until
in 2008.
you sent me something. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this happened. Like this wasn't even that long ago, and it's just the Flash punching a gallon of blood out of Sonya Blade.
Yeah.
I just like to say I thought the entire thing was ridiculous and stupid from the moment I heard about it till long after it came out.
I mean, I did now, but I just put together a little film strip of like Superman firing laser beams into Raiden's face, and
it's heat vision, Chris.
What the fuck? Whatever. Heat vision is laser beams. Ask your scientist.
No.
But
Henry, same thing.
I don't think so.
Somebody did correct me in the article saying they explain that Superman has been infected by magic and can't fly in the game.
Right.
He can't fly a lot.
Then can't fly a lot.
No, they got around to all that
he
shit.
seems to fly when he needs to.
But what? Because magic.
It's because
magic. It's because magic. It's because magic, and then Flash is slower because there's no Speed Force there.
I think George Lucas should start saying that when people question the Star Wars continuity.
Magic.
No.
But there's no Speed Force in Outworld, or are they in a different place?
They're in the two realms are merging.
Okay, so then
he's got a little bit of Speed Force. But Outworld is also appearing into, so you see,
DC Universe.
He's like at half power.
Right.
It was such a dumb thing. Like it was something they should have done 10 years ago, or
like literally 10 years ago.
Literally 10 years ago. If they had done it, even in the year 2000, that would have been.
You know
right
why?
time.
It's fucking Warner Brothers owns Mortal Kombat. Warner Brothers owns
what
DC.
Henry and I were talking about because, like, again, I've said this before, but this is one of the things I knew in the games industry so long before it was announced. I forgot that it was happening.
We all knew about it.
We all knew about it.
I
knew about it in like 07, like this was happening, or like 06 that they were doing this.
Yeah,
I remember hearing conversations forever about this Batman versus Scorpion render that's been out
But the
forever.
Warner Brothers Midway takeover didn't happen until 09.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this like set the stage for
this
it.
was the last Midway failure.
Or it's like,
it
wasn't not a failure.
That's the thing is this thing sold great.
Yeah. It sold great, but I think
it did boom tube at retailers.
I think it needed to be the best-selling game of the year for it to save Midway. And
at that point.
Well, that's the thing is every Mortal Kombat sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah.
Every single one of them, as far as I know. I think the main
with
ones.
the exception of the number 2 in this list.
Well, that's the
I see.
The main ones like that. Everything from 1, 2, 3, 4, Deadly Alliance, all that shit.
Well, I didn't
maybe not 4.
I didn't get to mention
sucked.
that, because I mean I think most of us fell off the MK bandwagon after like in the PS2 Xbox era.
I fell off after 3.
But those were drastic improvements and like sold very well. Like,
they also
they're still pretty good games. Like I was really ready to write this top 7. Like Mortal Kombat sucks. I'm over it. It's all goofy shit now. But no, those games are pretty good. MKDC is fucking weird.
Yeah,
I can't believe it happened.
It's an absurd offshoot.
It's a compromise of both things to a degree that's not fair to either side.
Yes.
You can't have M-rated fatalities in a Mortal Kombat game, which is the point of Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Dude, the superheroes are going to appear less functional and weak next to these ninjas.
And what do they have on the other side?
And
What does Batman have?
cannot murder.
Right.
Like, so they do brutalities, which are actually ethically pretty wrong too.
Heroic brutality.
Yeah, they're called heroic
It's
brutality.
an
Oxymoron.
Yeah, because a person is like struck dumb the same as they would be for a fatality, and then Batman just wails on an unarmed guy for a while.
Defenseless opponent for no reason.
Which isn't, or Superman definitely would never do.
It ain't Batman, man. Batman wouldn't do that, man.
But I think that game also proved just how far you can go in a T game. Like that
is true.
They did stuff in that game that like would have been M-rated when MK2 was coming out.
We were watching Liu Kang's MKDC, and it's not violent, but it's definitely excessive
Blood
and
still
like kind of wrong.
explodes off of them. Or
Not really.
Well, they
like
still,
nobody's limbs fly off. Like, but what Liu Kang did is he hit him with the fucking fireball, shot him in the air, and then jumped up and stomped on his face. Did his like that sounded very chicken-like, but that was Liu Kang, I assure you. It stomped on his face, and like his legs are kicking, and he's bleeding, and it's still pretty nasty. Teen rating.
No, and same like Jax had one. His fatality was he would punch both sides of the guy's head, and it would squish it in the middle, and like they'd just fall over. I think they let it go because it was so cartoony, but like he murdered Shazam.
Murder!
Shazam was my favorite character in that game. I only played it for one day, but I played it for like 5 hours that one day, and I think I left with Shazam as my favorite character in that.
Well, my other
not Captain Marvel.
We all should have listened to Matt. It was a stupid idea.
It really was.
And I did think it was cool that they had the Green Lantern in it because he never appears in games
to do that
up until now. But though I have another theory about why that game like took so long is because what killed Midway ultimately to me is that they decided to make games using the Unreal 3 engine before the Unreal 3 engine was perfected. Like, they put out Stranglehold as their big 2007 game, and I think I've read that it was one of the most expensive games of all time, and it got delayed all the time because Unreal 3 just wasn't working for them. The same reason that the 2 Human didn't work for so long. And that's also why we kept hearing about Mortal Kombat versus DC, because it existed. They wanted to announce it sooner, but they knew the tech just wasn't there.
I will say that poker set I whipped out. I went to Tahoe with my old roommate, and he's like, everybody, let's play some poker up in this cabin. It's the Midway poker set that I gave him in like 07, and everything on the chips, Mortal Kombat versus DC. Okay, Stranglehold. Uh-oh. Green chips, Hour of Victory. What the fuck is Hour of Victory? Oh my god, I forgot all about Black Site Area 51. Holy shit! Now it's all becoming clear what happened to you. Like, especially because like I don't know. To me, like certain colors of chips have denominations, and to me, it seemed like the ones Midway put on the promotional chips were what they were betting on the most.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And so then Midway died, and like Warner Brothers bought all their best stuff. Like Mortal Kombat and Game Party.
And Game Party, that's right.
Game Party that kept Midway going. There might not have been an MK versus DC if they hadn't sold 1 million Game Parties for the Wii.
Game Parties.
It's very sad.
Oh, and somebody sent me the Sesame Street characters as Batman villains.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
I forwarded that. I was at an appointment. I forwarded that over to the Warner Brothers people who I was meeting with for both Batman and Sesame Street, and they got a very big kick out of it. So thank you for that.
Something else about the screens that you put in here of like how ridiculous this entire meetup is.
Yeah.
The thing that got me is like Sub-Zero punching Joker, and Joker's reeling backwards in pain, but his face has no reaction.
Very, very happy.
He's just smiling.
His grin is just permanently etched, and then if you scroll down, the one with Flash punching Sonya, she's just no expression.
But look at Wonder Woman's face. Raiden looks like it's taken everything out of him, but Wonder Woman doesn't look like she's moved an inch.
No, it's just so fucking static, and and plus Sonya's character design in that game is so terrible.
Yeah.
She has a visible thong tan line coming out of her camel pants. It's just like, was it really designed by a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
And this huge rack. Like, can you please, like, just have them have regular large boobs? Because that's bigger than her head. Like, it is bigger than her head.
I might talk about it later, but that's something about this whole week is rekindled. Something about Sonya Blade for me. Holy shit.
I had it for Katana for some reason.
MK versus
I never had it for Sonya until now.
It worked as a good palate cleanser, though, because it was really like, it was Armageddon, and then because of all those delays, like, there was MK Armageddon at the start of this console cycle, and then MK versus DC, and then nothing until now. Like, it was... So it made the impact of the new game, like, I think, even more.
It's just weird because this was slightly codenamed. I don't know who codenamed it, but as the new Mortal Kombat this year is Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat. Yeah,
and Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which was basically the greatest hits of that generation, was 7. This was technically 8.
Yeah, no, it was the MK team that made it.
I wasn't able to showcase it in the article, but there's like pictures of concept art for MK8 where I think somebody spoke about how inspired they were by Gears of War.
Yeah, I remember that.
A very, very gritty look, and it's kind of silly, but I don't know. I wish they would have taken it in that direction anyway. When they say gritty, I know what they mean. They mean like attitude and edgy, but what I would have liked to see is like cooler looking characters, like more realistic looking characters.
They're toned down even a little from this in the new one. Like Sub-Zero, even in this one, Sub-Zero has like frost hands that are permanently ice.
Oh, Sub-Zero Scorpion is yellow because it's the blood of the demon he killed to get his soul back. It's the yellow blood on his black outfit.
I thought it was because he was a coward, or to say somebody else.
No, the reason he's wearing a yellow costume is
Don't
because...
say that like you're an authority holding an iPad. And
no, I'm looking at... I know this from rote memory.
Oh, no. This from the new game. It was going to be a reboot. That's what they were going to say. It was going to have a basis in reality, like Kano's former fucking Navy SEAL frogman. But that was I thought that was interesting about Sub-Zero. It wasn't just a stark yellow piece of clothing. It was like splotches and
I got
blood of the demon he had.
Right. I see.
That would have been interesting.
All right, what the fuck are we doing?
Number 3.
I might play some that we made Mortal Kombat. The plot, hilarious. You can watch the trailer on Trailer Trash this week. We made fun of that again because we did an all Mortal Kombat trailer trash. We did, what is it? If MKDC was a porn.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was a good one.
Funny.
Boom tube. Though I can't laugh at that because I know exactly what a boom tube is.
I know what a boom tube is too, but it's still funny.
And
Motor Kombat.
I hate making fun of this because it just sucks. But that doesn't mean it's terrible. It was free. No, I didn't ask anybody to play it.
It's a kart racer attached to which one? Armageddon.
Motor Kart Bet.
I saw you stole my "Let's Get This Karty Started."
Oh yeah, people love that one.
I just saw a few seconds of this game today, and I was like watching it, and first I was just like shaking my head in disbelief, but then it offended a part of my brain, deep in my brain, simply because of the incongruity of tone. Like, you had these super deformed racers, and then Baraka crashed into a wall, and there was an explosion of blood.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? I was like, that's got to be the only kart racer in existence that has blood.
It's a novelty for that sake. But
it's sort of big. Like, and the only argument I could say, the amount of time you spent doing that could have been better spent on what Mortal Kombat actually is. Like, you spent all that time making like 12 playable racers, 6 courses. Maybe put that into polishing up the game people actually bought.
Yeah.
Michael was like, "Oh, I had fun with that actually." I'm like,
I think he means he had fun with an hour one day 8 years ago.
Maybe
that's what he means.
I can see how it could be fun, but then like I had a lot of fun with a lot of kart racers, and they fucking suck, and I don't want to go back and play any of them. There's like 17 Crash Bandicoot racing games that I enjoyed and are fucking terrible.
Yeah,
I can't go back and play Mario Kart on the last DS one or the Wii one. I think it's just the same fucking thing. And this is a little worse with blood. We can move on to number 2 because I'm getting hot.
Number 2.
It's number 1.
No, we're not there yet, son.
Number 2 is Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Oh my god. This is kind of the follow-up after Mythologies. Rather than be another Mortal Kombat Mythologies, they're like, well, okay, here's Special Forces starring Jax and Sonya. Another third-person adventure game.
Sonya was cut.
So like, isn't even Jax? Jax can't be in the top 5 most popular characters.
Trivia. This is technically, canonically, the first Mortal Kombat game ever.
Oh yeah,
really?
Stupid. It's true.
This is what they're chasing down Kano.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the intro screen is hilarious. They like a bunch of poorly modeled scorpions and Kanos like blow up a prison wall and escape from a real prison. And Jax has to go rescue them. Like, this is an ambitious title. It has a very tragic story that I couldn't fit all in there, but there's another... John Tobias Ed Boon, creator of Mortal Kombat, John Tobias chose to, let's bring this into other genres. He quit. He quit the project, so the project was just kind of floundering, but it's Midway, big company. What are we going to do with this game? And at the same time, it was previewed at E3. And the Nintendo 64 version of Special Forces was received very negatively. Ultimately, was cut altogether. And it was just a PlayStation game released for $20. $20.
Yeah. I remember when it came out at Toys R Us, and it just fucking sat there.
Which for them is really an acknowledgement. Like, we know this is terrible, but seriously, $20.
Well, looking at the models even of like Sonya's arms, like look at this shit.
That was never released. That never happened.
It's made of. It's clear just rectangles and shit.
But it was supposed to be a co-op game with Sonya.
PS1 game, right?
Yeah.
But in order to get it out,
but still,
that's what Lara Croft looked like on the PS1.
I know, and it was really bad.
I don't want to talk super because I don't really know the whole process of how games are made, but I know that if you have a release date, and you're having problems, you hire on more people. You get a bigger staff for the final build. So that's what I keep hearing from.
I've never seen that happen.
No.
No.
Whatever. But instead,
well, that's what I think.
But
I've just seen the release date always gets pushed back. That's what I see.
The release date got pushed back, but they just cut entire features instead of bringing people on to fix them. As people left the project, they didn't bring anybody else on. They just like, well, we just won't. No Sonya Blade. How about that? No co-op. They were supposed to revolutionize something about a 3D camera. Well, fuck it. We're just going to do top down. How about that?
Yeah.
We're just going to make it look like loaded. Like, it just, all that shit just kept happening. And if you watch the video in the article at the end, it's just this, it doesn't work on the podcast, but just Kano walking up to a man on fire, throwing his hands in the air, lifts his head up to shout, Kano, you gonna pay for this. Like, it doesn't fit at all. I know I can't explain it. You have to watch it. You can't even hear the audio. You have to see it together with the visuals.
Right, real quick, let me share with you my experience of being late in a game, and it's not necessarily totally finished.
Okay.
It's just that, like, the dreaded things I used to see as a tester was the marking of a bug as WNF, which is will not fix.
Will not fix. No.
You get late enough and they're like, nope, we're not fixing it. You're just like, oh, you've been fighting for it for like months trying to get it fixed, and then finally there's like, nope.
Nah, dude, I understand that. I work at Games Radar. Number one is what?
The live tour.
Oh my god, the live tour. Which fucking, I found this in Henry, in like, Henry's eyes lit up like, oh my god, I had tickets to that.
Yeah,
Tell the story.
Well, it's a sad story that's ultimately pointless. Where
but I love how it happened to you.
Well, as a kid, we loved live stage shows. I don't know if they do that as much in these days, but like when I was when I was like 6, they had like Sesame Street live, and like
this
my
week
mom
it was announced
that
Batman is having a live tour.
Oh wow! But like also they had like Disney on Ice. Like I went to several
Sesame
of those.
Street Live. I went all the time.
And Sesame Street Live.
There's still commercials I see for around here for Disney on Ice.
Oh,
so that still happens at least.
Comes along, like there's ads on TV. I think this is when we lived in.
Arkansas?
No, I think it was Atlanta, and they started having ads for it on TV. We're like, oh my god, this looks so cool! Look at the awesome stage show. And so we talked our mom into buying expensive Ticketmaster tickets, and then comes the day, and we go there, and we're like, as we're driving up, like, there's nobody here and nothing. Like, this is just an empty, slightly sketchy-looking street, and no one's here. And then the doors are just closed, and they just canceled the show with no excuses, just nothing. They probably just didn't sell enough tickets, and we're like,
I can't believe this. I can't believe it happened, and it's a time before email. So like, what are they going to say? They're going to take out more advertisements to say it's not happening. Yeah. Here's where you can get a refund.
I suppose like they would send you something in the mail afterwards to say like, hey, sorry, this is canceled. You can get a refund here.
Well, they could put a sign on the door at least.
Yeah, they
right?
didn't do anything.
I mean, man.
It was sad. It was sad.
Somebody in the comments actually responded. This is Club Sandwich. Yep. My dad totally surprised me one night and trucked my 8-year-old ass to the Civic Center for the live-action Mortal Kombat thing. It's a little fuzzy, but there were lasers and smoke machine and kung fu. Total nostalgia trip. Also, my dad loved it. Also, my dad is a pothead. Thank you, Club Sandwich.
Yeah, no, those live things when I was a kid, like I look back on them, I'm like, those must have been terrible, and like
they're
a
terrible
horrible
now.
Thing to make my mother sit through, but like as taking me to them, but like they were so fun as a kid. Like probably I would have loved the Mortal Kombat one if all they did was like jump around, and then there were lasers and smoke. That's
there
all
is lasers
I
and smoke, and there's music, and it follows the plot of the game. Somebody had written a first-hand account, I think on G4, and how terrible it was. Like, I'm a big Scorpion fan. He throws a spear, says, "Get over here." So in the show, he threw like a Nerf dart, which Sonya caught and then wrapped around herself so as to allow Scorpion,
and then ran over to him,
and then got over there, and it involved audience participation. There was a review in the New York Times. I deserve a medal for looking up fucking articles in the New York Times from '96. There was shameless sequences where Johnny Cage is down. If you kids out there in the audience hold up the amulets you should have paid for at the merchandise stand, he will be saved. And at the New York Times review was there. The amulets weren't ready, but nobody told the crew, and they still called the audience out to ask them.
Oh, wow.
So was there like the dead silence?
Yeah,
awkward
like, what
silence?
are you talking about? I would love to buy an amulet. Where can I buy an amulet?
Well,
they're not ready yet.
If it was like an official Mortal Kombat Dragon amulet, I totally would have bought that.
I read that several places.
I kind of want that now, actually.
But then also, according to people like Henry, the show was just canceled. So like maybe nobody ever saw these amulets because there was a call and response like finish him and get over. Like you could do that with the audience.
It just failed and they just canceled the show. I don't know.
It looks stupid.
Well, also those type of shows were made to sell glowing things at it. I remember like just sitting like waiting for a show to start of Disney on Ice and seeing people with glow sticks around or a specific type of glowing sword, and which you'd see like the lights would go out, but you'd still see this glowing stuff everywhere. And it was made to advertise to the other kids to beg them from your mother. And then just because they cost like $50 or something, like insane markup.
I'm just remembering everything I saw at my stupid Civic Center, which is where this would have been. Mm-hmm. This would have been hilarious, but I'm just having this vivid memory of seeing Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, and the ringmaster. And every year they'd update. Like the ringmaster would sing songs. So like all of a sudden, like the lights were dim, and you see these elephants come out, and then like you just hear like a bunch of whips cracking, and then I have the sound effect of dolls of elephants, and then the lights come on, and these elephants standing up, and this idiot in a top hat comes out. Oh, the rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you. As these elephants dance around. Rhythm is gonna get you. I hate all the shows I ever saw. They're all bad.
I have a very strong memory of Ringling Brothers where I went to it, and it was the elephant show. The theme was your first day of school, and he was singing, "Oh, your first day of school," and the elephants moved around like ABC blocks. But then at one point, the elephant turns around and just a fountain of shit just pours out of the task. And then like the audience laughs, and the ringmaster is just like, moving on, other parts of school.
Something else that shit.
And they immediately, as he was saying, they're like, stagehands were coming on to throw sawdust on it immediately.
One of those rare moments where I realize how spoiled I am by the internet and technology. Where like, why the fuck doesn't video exist to this? I think there may have been like a VHS produced of the show, but like I want to see all of this right now, and I can't.
But there definitely were commercials that sold me on it to beg
You do remember the commercials?
Well, yeah, I saw commercials on TV saying, "Hey, it's coming to town. Tell your parents."
Yeah.
It's also weird. Like at the time, this was when they were saying like these things are poisoning children's minds, but this was directed specifically
to
at children. Yes,
yeah. It was the double fucking.
This picture of the cast, like half of these characters aren't in the game.
Yeah, well, there's another picture where that picture was funnier. There's another picture I have of people dressed a little more like the cast. I just like if you look at that picture. I'm not being racist. All the black people are open mouth smiling.
Yeah,
and that like doing a ridiculous smile, and that made me laugh a lot more.
Wait.
It's just the black people.
This guy's not doing it.
Yeah, he looks pretty tough.
He's pretty serious.
That's shitty Cyrax, we call him.
Oh, but I was gonna say he's playing nobody. No. But like Raiden looks like a blue mage from Final Fantasy. Like it doesn't look anything like Raiden. That hat is too pointy. That robe is blue.
And if you look, the Sub-Zero white is representative of Sub-Zero from 3.
And then
of all the Sub-Zeros you could pick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and Scorpion isn't even in either of these staff pictures.
This is so
but they got to get Nightwolf in there,
guys.
And Kano with no metal face.
Listeners, I love you. I hope you can bear with the Mortal Kombat discussion because we're not done. But the only thing that I could find video-wise that existed was the cast appearance on a KTLA news show.
Oh, it's so great.
I guess Tim and Eric has ruined me. Like I didn't know things actually happen like this. They dance around for like 2 minutes. I called it jazz karate, but they just not barely come close to one another, throwing punches and weapons and swords and.
All right, wow. Pretty tough crowd you hang with.
Yes, they are.
That is just a preview of the show that you'll be able to catch, and it is coming into the Southland. It's called Mortal Kombat. Let me, first of all, start by having you introduce yourself and the cast of characters behind you here.
My name is Shang Tsung.
Of course it is. Of course you are.
So
he was so serious.
The Mortal Kombat 3 version of Shang
He's very in like the first part of this video. He's playing it like total. Let's just say I'm going to say Oriental, so as not to offend anybody but fans of Oriental food.
That's offensive, actually.
No, he's playing it like just Oriental, like a product of. He's clearly like Hispanic, but he's like, I am Shang Tsung, and then after a while, he just starts talking normally, like, yeah, no, we're working really hard. But at this point, yes, he's talking like.
My name is Shang Tsung.
He's talking very, very Oriental. Yeah, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about the show and what do you expect kids to get from this? I mean, the video's already come under a little bit of criticism for some of the violence. This is a pretty wild act.
Video game.
Yes, it is. The show is based on a martial art aspect of the video game, Mortal Kombat. And it's already been to a movie, and now we're doing the live tour. It's been under... The violence has always been around, but what martial arts and this show has to present is all positive messages.
What sort of positive messages?
Well, it helps children be able to be
fight each other
about violence and the difference between martial arts and violence. It helps them to be positive. It helps them to be able to
positive.
To be able to
quick morph into the host. Run away!
So painful. Well, that guy.
Who has the microphone now?
That guy's just good at doing somersaults and high kicks.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be defending video game violence.
Just because I'm dressed like Shao Kahn doesn't make me the spokesman for this whole group.
I do not actually rule Outworld. I'm sorry if I came under false pretenses.
And the show has also joined forces now with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Yes.
Readathon.
Thank you.
Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, we're definitely proud to be part of MS and to help combat it. And we do that
with
through the proceeds that we make at the live tour, as well as with this program of readathons that we're doing. And this helps spread awareness and helps to overcome illiteracy.
Perfect. Okay, if anybody out there listening actually went to a Mortal Kombat readathon, I want first-hand details, posters, the Mortal Kombat readathon.
The flyer you probably got.
Yes. Stole from the wall.
Did they spell everything with K's and ruined you for life?
Yes.
All I want you to do.
I look.
Okay, sorry. Did anybody have anything to say? This is like this is the last.
Just the idea that they would. It shows like how. Like, look, we make a stage show based off this video game that showed up at Congress of trying to be shut down because of Joe Lieberman. And parents are concerned, and congressmen are concerned, so...
Just because you elected Dr. Zoidberg, I'm Joe Lieberman. Games are bad.
Like, what if... Look, how about we take some of the heat off by just... We'll have some fucking readathons, and let's pick a charity to donate proceeds to, and then we'll guilt people into going.
We will come in battling this disease with multiple sclerosis. I will throw a sclerosis, he will throw a sclerosis.
I can see them like choosing the charity. They're like, okay, we have to pick one where the sufferers can't commit violence.
Exactly, yeah.
We're going to tell MS to get out of here. That was pretty good. Come on.
Yeah, they should have said, like, we're going to perform a fatality on MS.
But, God, the Sonya Blade in this clip is like the hottest woman I've ever seen in my entire life. Yes!
I gotta see
I don't know what's happened. Like, I went and looked up a bunch of other Sonya Blades as well as part of my work. And they're all extremely hot, too. But this is...
I thought Sonya was never the sex symbol for
I was not attracted to her back then, but the woman in this video, Jesus. And the reporter feels it as well. These cheesy sound effects are the news pieces and not mine.
All I want you to do...
I look at that. That is the ultimate six-pack of a stomach.
Rubbing around her stomach.
That's like an 8-pack there. You're not even... Okay.
Hey, Mark, I'm not asking you to look at her...
Okay, yeah.
And this is what happens when you try to go for her neck.
Okay.
Try to reach for her neck and grab with both hands.
Oh, yikes. Okay, yikes.
Yeah. We'll let you live.
Okay.
Wow. I would love to murder you, but I can.
But on live television, my hands are tied.
Hey, can I close this out? If you don't like this Mortal Kombat stuff, then too bad. There's a lot more left. And
there's some other stuff, probably, maybe.
But you gonna give it to me?
I just
awesome.
I just love in the video when they're done fighting. It's such a rough end of the fight, and done. Okay, run back to places, and they just stop fighting.
Like they're just gasping for air.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that because we're gonna come back with game deals, horrible new releases, more Mortal Kombat stuff.
Oh, and the opposite of Mortal Kombat.
Reader responses, and I'm going to take us out with the exact same music that took this news segment out. So
okay, thank you very much. Mortal Kombat, check it out. We'll be back with more right after this.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Chris Hardwick, and you're listening to TalkRadar on GamesRadar.com. Yay, you!
Dark Khan's energy is slowly grinding the two universes together, agitating us until we become enraged and releases the rage, hastening the merging.
Then Dark Khan must be stopped.
Not yet. We must first eliminate his forces, but to do so will require the unthinkable.
Bitter rivals must as one.
So it shall be. Liu Kang, you must alongside Shang Tsung.
I will do as you ask, Raiden.
This could prove interesting.
Now I am revitalized, surging with power. I could you right now.
You wanna You got it!
I'm a complicated woman.
You know, I don't feel like you anymore. We don't have to.
Oh, but I want to.
Green Lantern, this is Batman. I have a prisoner I need to in a secure location.
Thanks for whoever she is, she was ready to finish me.
You gotta stop running off like that, Sonya. We're a team. You can't bad guys alone.
I know. I'll work on it. But I have to warn you, the portal has been less than cooperative lately.
Nothing I can't handle.
Liu Kang, what's wrong?
I can sense something. Something big.
It burns inside me!
I need you to be calm. More powerful than ever. Torn his asunder.
Just the way I like it. Boom tube. Insolent fool! You're destabilizing the boom tube! You blasted Darkseid's boom tube and sent him hurtling into some unknown universe. Flash, what have you done to Catwoman? Isn't it obvious?
Grinding two together will eventually rip them both apart.
I can sense the nether.
If you're not going to it, then I'll beat it out of you.
Boom tube.
TalkRadar. This show am good.
Are you guys ready to start the second segment? Alright, that was from last. That's Mortal Kombat 4.
That's good.
Jarek. I wanted to plug, before that, I wanted to plug the TalkRadar Minecraft server.
What?
Yeah, that, on the forums he's Cleanser 24/7, but his name is Tamrails Ranger, TAMRIELS Ranger, RANGER. The Muppet Party Cruise is currently under construction, and I'm looking at it in Minecraft, and it looks ridiculous. The Minecraft server is open. Yes.
I assume there's red doors, blue doors.
Yes, probably.
Right.
Doors of up to 2 colors. Boxing Marco, right. Thank you, Henry. Thank you for the Nerdist Chris Hardwick plug that you sent me.
Oh, he recorded that?
Yeah,
Wow.
dude. He was at a taping the show, so I should send that out. You know, if you meet a celebrity
really nice.
and have an iPhone,
Wow.
hit that memo recorder, get a plug.
I've remembered to do that at a couple events. You know,
I'll send you $1.
You got that Coltrane plug because of me.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and
Or
Charlie. It was Charlie's phone, but I was the one that told Charlie to ask him to record.
It's that simple.
It's really all my
But does that take the mystique out of it? I don't know. We'll see when the plugs start rolling in. I'll let you know.
Did you know that Chris Hardwick's Nerdist podcast also starts with an Anamanaguchi song?
I did, because I
song.
just heard it for the first, and I saw Anamanaguchi. I'm like, that's a fucking Nerdist show intro. Jesus, it was like right after they played Helix Nebula. So
oh man, oh yeah, this is forever ago, especially when you're listening to this, But on Thursday last week was the premiere show of The Glowing Stars, which was a big Games Radar get-together.
Yes.
I want to say hey to everybody.
That I wasn't at for reasons we'll go into later.
Hammered.
But there were tons of Games Radar readers there.
Yeah,
Cool
thank
to
you
meet
everybody
all
for
them.
showing up.
They
That was
really
awesome.
showed up.
There may be something like that in LA. Let's just say, if you're in the LA area in June, let's say early June, maybe think about clearing your dumbass calendar.
Oh my goodness!
But also, P-Lander Z was great. Even I like
so many, Mike.
I talked with Carolyn afterwards about it and how she says that's her like horrible music and the worst song she's ever heard. But she was slightly intoxicated. She was intoxicated, but also like the positivity, the vibes, and the excitement. Got to you.
In terms of what a live show should be, like P-Lander Z seems to have nailed it. Like they presented the most fun live show I've ever shown up at.
I got done because I was at Captivate for Capcom stuff. So I was out at a karaoke bar with drinking and watching Scott sing.
Hobnobbing. All right.
Yeah, hobnobbing. That's a good word for it. They were giving me lots of money to tell people how great their games are. That's what I do. I spent my whole life playing games so I could do this instead of having any credibility and morality for my own internal judgment. I should, give me $20. Anything's a 10.
What was Scott singing?
I don't remember. Because of the time difference in Miami, 3 hours ahead. So I was thoroughly drunk. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I was looking at Twitter, and I'm like, "Fucking assholes! Fucking having such a fucking good time. So fucking mad. I'm not fucking there." I'm like bitching to Scott in a bar with a bunch of happy people, and I'm like flipping angrily through a karaoke bar. I don't want to sing these fucking songs. Yeah, maybe I'll sing "View to a Kill," but I don't know. I'm gonna have to be really upset.
Why does that happen to Scott all the time? Where I end up taking a lot of things.
He takes it well.
You win some, you lose some. Scott just shrugs.
Yeah, he takes it well. But then I'm like, wait a minute. It was winding down, although it apparently ended up going on until like 4 or 5 in the morning. But when I was there, it seemed like it was winding down. A lot of people had left. So I was like, fuck this. I guess I'll just go home and go punch myself in the dick till I fall asleep. But then I realized Anmaguchi hadn't even gone on yet, and they were live streaming it from the DNA Lounge. So I watched the whole live stream and was jumping around my fucking room, drunk, and trying to pretend like I was there. And but I did see Michael in the stream.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Michael got in the pit.
Yeah, no, that's what you got to do, man.
Okay, I was close to the stage last time. Like I'd never Lizzie's going on. Yeah. I couldn't get anywhere near the stage.
You got to force your way in.
No, don't tell me how shows work. It just wasn't that fucking crowded last time. Like this time, it was so goddamn crowded.
Sold out. It
was sold out. I couldn't get anywhere near the stage. I was willing to get in there and fucking
we had
thrash
to pay
around
for ticket. All of us.
What was great is being upstairs on the balcony and watching Grimm.
Right.
Yeah, oh my God.
Grimm is like what, like 6'11", and just like throwing these children around the pit, just having a great time.
He's a solid.
He is a
man.
solid. God, sexy fucking asshole.
He's just bouncing around at it, and he had his bag on the whole time, like his man purse his leather man purse with him the whole time, and his white chapeau as well.
But he was thrashing. Oh, I wish I could have gotten in there.
Yeah.
I took some screen grabs when Anmaguchi played Helix Nebula. I was in the chat, and 200 people were watching live, and at the moment that song came on, the chat just blows up with so I took some screen grabs.
There was some minor acknowledgement. I've never heard them acknowledge it on stage. I'm like, if there was any one place, do it in San Francisco. We've been playing this song for 3 years, but then not even Blowing Stars acknowledged Games, but like Matt's he's like, you may have heard the song in Games Radar, and there were like cheers. And
there were. Yeah,
I'd never seen that before. I know it's not cool to do. You don't want to say where you saw it. I just want to be acknowledged.
But it was
girlfriend kept laughing at me.
Same as the last time when we saw it. When they play Helix Nebula, I go bananas because I think they're playing our theme song. Even though maybe they don't even remember.
I think they're sick of playing it. He made it sound like I wrote the song like 6 years ago. And
their newer stuff is more complex and sophisticated, and I could definitely see them being more interested in playing their newer stuff. But
no, all the new stuff I heard was great.
It was great, but I liked hearing the stuff I recognized.
Dude, Glowing Stars Queen cover, that was great. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, so we all got hammered, did we not?
Mr. Fahrenheit.
We all got hammered, did we not? One person there got so drunk they shit their pants. Another person got so drunk
that's news to me.
They threw up standing up the next day.
I know that one. Yeah.
Fun is all I'm saying.
What's special about throwing up standing up?
Unexpectedly.
Just like they're like hanging out and standing around their house in the morning. And
Yep. Let's just say my house.
Right. Oh, I remember reading the tweet about that. The person thought it was a burp, and then it's like, just a burp.
And then I lost my game notes from Ellie Noir. Thank you, Mr. Randy Savage. What the fuck? New releases? Man, they're shitty.
Well,
what?
Captivate.
Well, did we go through new releases first?
No, you're right. Well, new releases is pretty bad.
Yeah, they're really bad. And I was looking to, like, I think I'm gonna try to buy a 3DS. And like, wow, nothing is coming out. And this week, Splinter Cell 3DS, a remake of some Splinter Cell game. And only sold at GameSpot A5.
Yeah, it's just another middling.
Another terrible fucking 3DS game. Patapon 3, which, yeah, I like Patapon. Yeah. Pata.
Pawn.
Thank you, Henry. Michael Jackson, The Experience, which I'm only mentioning to use an excuse to play my Smooth Criminal Moonwalker Genesis remix at the end of this segment.
I love that. That's
thank you, buddy.
Great song.
Divinity 2, I wrote it. Divinity 2, Lego Battles Ninjago. And I don't know what this game is, but it sounds awesome. World of Tanks. It looks boring. Boring as fuck. World of Tanks.
What's in it?
I want to live in that world. I have no idea.
Probably tanks.
There you go, Elston.
So the Game Boy version would be Land of Tanks.
Dude, another one. Oh, just keep going.
He's on fire.
He is.
Game Gear version would be Tank Spinball.
Yay!
Tanks Triple Trouble.
There you go.
All right.
That's more accurate.
You were at Captivate?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
a lot of big newsies.
So yeah, we go to Capcom every year. They have Captivate, which is the event that they hold to announce and show off the stuff they're going to really push for the next year.
This is your second Captivate in a row, right?
This is my third I've been to, but the one where they went to fucking Monte Carlo I didn't go to.
Oh my god.
So
wow.
I didn't get to participate in that one. But nonetheless, it was like the day begins at 7 a.m. and
4 a.m. your time.
4 a.m. my fucking time, which means I'm getting up at like 2 a.m. or, it's just terrible. Just unavoidable for the time difference. Last year it wasn't that bad because it was the other direction for time. It's all day. They announce, they present the games to you, then you break for lunch, you come back, and then you get to have interview sessions and, have them clarify things, ask your own questions, have interviews with people. And it's nice because they make people available. You can actually sit down and actually try to discern what the game is about rather than they come by for a demo, they show you the game for an hour, and then they leave. Like, you actually have time to ask, like, well, is it like this? What do you mean by this? Does it have this? I don't know, it's just a little bit more thorough. And it sounds like a PR machine thing where you just go and they're going to rattle stuff to you and then you regurgitate it. But those sessions they do at the end of the day are very good because you can clarify.
It's still a nice way of presenting information.
Clarify your information, and then you can actually put a little bit of a personal spin on it. So like a lot of the stuff, like Operation Raccoon City, they really are pitching it as it's a third-person shooter in Resident Evil. It takes place during Resident Evil 2. It's during that siege of Raccoon City when it's overrun by zombies. Leon Kennedy arrives and he's like, "Holy fuck, zombies!" This is from the Umbrella point of view, where they're like, "Whoops, we shit zombies everywhere." So they're sending in the Umbrella crack team to go clean up the streets, remove all the evidence, and kill anyone who's in their way, and kill all survivors, which happens to include Leon. And Sonic.
Accident.
Maybe Supersonic. That sound like a Chaos Emerald?
Babality.
There it is. But yeah, I thought the main game, like the multiplayer that we played, was kind of boring, honestly. It was just 4 players. They all have their own abilities. Bertha, Beltway, Vector, and Spectre. They're not Mortal Kombat characters, by the way.
Those names.
But it just seemed kind of like, yep, I'm going to shoot people. But the interesting idea for that one is that the zombies and the Resident Evil monsters are like a neutral third party that attack both sides. So like you can't take cover and just like wait to shoot the other people, because like your side is Umbrella and the other side are these government spec ops who have arrived to try to steal whatever they can from Umbrella for government use, because they know like, shit, we can get in, this stuff is out, we've been trying to get Umbrella forever, let's go in and try to get some evidence and get some of our own tech to commandeer and use for the government. So it's you fighting them using abilities like, camouflage, active camo and surveillance, infrared. And
wait, how many games do you have to talk about?
12.
Okay.
No, only 5.
4?
I'm only going to talk about 4.
That one, the trailer for one of them had me excited.
Well, we'll get to it.
All right.
But basically, yeah, at the end of the day, it just felt like I was running and shooting shit. And occasionally a zombie would get in my way, and then I would punch it, and it would go away. But the neat idea that I hope they expand upon is at 3 minutes, a hunter comes onto the field and targets the most proficient player. So, like, if you're doing really well, 3 minutes, one of the green hunters from Resident Evil that can take your head off in one swipe, they appear on the map, and now they're coming after you, which is kind of still scary, even though you're loaded to the teeth. Like, it's still kind of like, fuck, because you see that thing, like, lumbering towards you. So I hope they further that. Like, if someone gets 10 kills in a row, it spawns a tyrant. or the giant snake boss comes out. Like, I just hope they really play with that idea and really kind of sell the Resident Evil side of it. Because the main game is 4-player co-op, and it's you as the Umbrella team cleaning the streets. And that seemed kind of cool because they can play with the pacing of it, where it's like, zombies, 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 zombies. Why is it so quiet? What's going on? Hey, who are you down there? And it turns around, and it's fucking Mr. X, who was the black trench coat. And he lands and, like, just stares stone cold at you and starts walking towards you. Nothing hurts him. It would seem like a really cool moment. So I'm interested in the campaign. That just seems like a cool story to tell.
Left 4 Dead.
It's not really like Left 4 Dead because you're not reviving your friends and you're all actually very capable people. So you can split up and it's not as dire a situation. Like Left 4 Dead, you split up, you're dead. This was not like that at all. And in the multiplayer, you don't play as any of the monsters, which I thought was kind of a missed opportunity. Because you'd think they'd let you play as a fucking hunter.
You know how much Capcom loves Day 1 DLC?
They do. I'm sure there'll be something. But
maybe.
So I'm cautious. I'm optimistic about it, but it's one of those games, like, again, they showed it to us so early that there's only so much to even say, and it's clear that that's not all of it, so it's impossible to make a judgment at this point. So it's basically all you can do is go, that's what it is.
I'm gonna do it. It's a 7.
Maybe. I feel like the campaign could maybe be pretty cool, but we'll see. Dragon's Dogma was the game they announced.
That trailer looked really cool.
That's the weirdest game to peg because it's from the Devil May Cry and RE5 people. So like Devil May Cry 3 and 4.
And it looks
it. And so they're building it as an action game, but it is not like Devil May Cry juggle combos and awesome dude and that kind of shit. It's very medieval style, fighting orcs and wizards and spells and shit. But they're building it as an open world game, and what they showed us was this big open field with a castle full of NPCs and a king. And no, they wanted to call him a duke. They were seriously like, don't call him a king. I can't remember why.
It's the Lord.
He is the bishop. I don't fucking know what he was doing, but like, yeah, there's characters.
He's the rook.
There's characters and the story and side quests and all that shit, but they didn't go into any of that. All they really showed was mythological beasts that are in this game.
I saw in the trailer you can see him Shadow of the Colossus style tackle a
griffin. And I played that part. Yeah. Like that was really cool because you can grab an enemy.
He grabbed him by his tail as he flew by.
You can grab any part of any monster at any time. There's no prompts. There's no quick time events. Like if the griffin lands, run up, push right trigger. You're holding the griffin.
Started stabbing him.
Yeah, you just start stabbing. Like, I grabbed one's stomach as it flew over me, and like now I'm in the air. Fuck! And stabbing this. But you also have these pawns, AI partners that are with you. You can recruit. Pawns. They call them pawns.
That
I'm like,
makes
fucking
sense.
Just call them AI.
Sending them into death.
Yes, literally. Yes. But they're all customizable, so they're like not really part of the story so much. I don't think like they're just. I want a white-eyed, brown-faced, green-lipped woman mage who is 4 feet tall. Like they're totally interchangeable.
What I really liked about it, and I know I didn't see it, and I'm not going to be able to say this articulately, so I apologize to the whole audience, but I was playing a fantasy style game with Matt, and every time I see a fantasy game, it's usually a PC game of some sort, or it's a character occupying a very small space in a screen, like a very wide, expansive screen. And then when I saw this, it just looked like Resident Evil with a character with a giant sword, like a behind the shoulder. Every direction I'm going, I have just this huge space to swing a sword.
Yeah.
And I can, everywhere I look, I can swing a sword in. And it looked totally fucking cool. Over the shoulder, medieval sword kick-ass combat.
It seemed pretty cool. Like the Strider class can, hold left trigger, bring up the bow like a gun, like a Gear style, RE4 style reticle. And aim like that. Effects. But the cool thing with the mages is that instead of magic points or limitations,
MP, I believe. MP.
What MP? Mortal Kombat, Mario Paint.
There you go.
Military police.
Oh, hey, come on,
getting all official.
We are too wacky.
Put a tent on this Barlings and James circle. Wrangling Millers.
I'm about to call
combat time.
No, if you don't hurry up.
Okay. So the mages, but instead of magic points, are like you can only use the spell 5 times. The power of it is based on how long the mage chants. So like in this case, the pawn was like standing there chanting for a long time. So the fireball he finally shot was this huge wall of fire that set the whole fucking griffin on fire. So its feathers are burning and it's fucking thrashing around.
Harry Potter doesn't get to school.
No, he sure doesn't. Buckbeak is dude until they go back in time. Spoiler. But what's interesting about that Griffin fight is I played it twice and Scott played it as well. But like, one, the whole giant monsters thing is once again Capcom going, how the fuck can we get these Westerners to play Monster Hunter? because it reeks of that.
Yeah.
But it's much more playable than Monster Hunter in that regard because it's not so boxy. That ability to grab onto shit is so much fun, and I've wanted to do that since I was a child. Like, I'd fight bosses, and you're always just hacking at their knees, or like even in Devil May Cry, you're doing this crazy spinning sword, and the boss
not
is
even the way that you
not even reacting to it.
If you're jumping on a moving enemy, it tends to stop in places like a bus.
Yes.
And you stand at a bus stop and you jump on something and fight it. This looked like, shit.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like, it swoops in and just knocks everything around, like you know, Lord of the Rings, Nazgul style. Just
And you're still doing stuff. It's not like God of War where
it's not quick time event.
No, that looked really cool. And I really don't like high fantasy shit, like games especially.
Right.
And that I'm really looking forward to Game of Thrones though. Game of Thrones, Matt. No.
I heard the book's
All I know is I've seen the billboard on the way to work.
It's just me and Cheryl, watching reading.
Carolyn's reading the book.
Oh, Carolyn is reading them.
It looks like it's awesome.
Amanda wants to watch it with you.
Oh, Manders! I want to watch it with Manders.
I don't even know what it's about. All I've seen is the billboard. Is a dude sitting on a throne.
Medieval intrigue.
And then it just says Game of Thrones. You win or you die. That's their tagline.
It's a side story to the Lord of the Rings where Boromir teams up with. I watched the first 15 minutes. It looked pretty cool.
Well, that's not coming out this Sunday. So, what else do you have to say about Drags?
The basic combat wasn't very interesting. Like, it was just like X, X, Y.
All right, you hate everything. Next.
So that wasn't that interesting. But again, they showed us like the sliver of a game they were purporting to be the biggest, the best game they've.
And that's not till 2012.
Early 2012.
It's next year. So knowing Capcom, like April, March, something like that. There's also a trailer that shows a Hydra, and like it's a huge fucking monster. But the thing about fighting the Griffin, the first time I jumped,
battle of jellyfish.
Griffin. First time I jumped on it, and then the mage enchanted my knives, so then my knives were on fire, so I start stabbing this griffin in the air, and it falls out of the sky, and like fucking Michael Bay's into the ground, and like rocks shoot everywhere. And
what are you doing this whole time?
I'm holding it.
Yeah?
And riding down with it, and you let go at the right time, or you like fly off of it, and you let go and just jump like a fuck, and then land. Proximity. But then another time after I killed it, and then I loaded up again. This time, one of the pawns, like, it cuts over to them, and they're they want to interact with you a lot. Like, even though they're AI, they'll restrain an orc or something by the arms on a full Nelson or something.
Can you find love on the battlefield?
No, not in this game.
That was my pawn impression.
Confirmed.
Okay.
And they're like, come over here and stab this orc and finish it off. Or in this case, the fucking pawn guy was like, puts his hands down, both of his hands like in an alley-oop, like, come on over here, I'll throw you up. And I run over to him, and he literally like throws me up, and I go into the air as the griffin flies over. Wow. Like, this is all real time. None of this is a cutscene. And like, I fly up and just hold right trigger, and then grab the griffin in midair, and now I start stabbing it. And then another time, one of the pawns got on the fucking thing, and I look up, and he's like, I'm up here, goddammit! So then the magician enchants my arrows, and now I start shooting arrows at its wings, and now its wings catch on fire. Wow. And then it crashed. Like, it just felt like this is going to be really cool.
First time you do it will happen.
Yeah, probably. Like, this has potential to be like, okay, you found a way to make me care about Monster Hunter. Like, put me up against
I do care about Monster Hunter.
I love
the 360 version.
No, I love the idea of Monster Hunter, but every time I play it, I'm like, this is too much. Too much. I can't. If I was in high school, I would love it. I don't have that kind of time. This is a little bit more focused and like side quest story, move through. Only so many monsters. But the idea, they didn't say anything about multiplayer, and even though that was the first question, I was like, so are these pawns could be co-op friends or what? And they're like, we are not talking about multiplayer. So
yeah, but you will.
But they will. It's like, no, that's
not on our bullet point.
No, they will at June 4th. I predict they will have a press conference that says exactly what it is they're doing.
Exactly.
But next one was Dead Rising 2 off the record.
Well, you don't like Dead Rising.
Well, Matt and I both have beat Dead Rising 2.
I know. I know I don't like Dead Rising. This is one of those things where, as a games journalist, you can write about things you don't like. I don't like Dead Rising, but I can still tell you why this is interesting to Dead Rising fans, or why I think this is kind of a cop-out.
But what you don't like about Dead Rising is the same reason why this is interesting. Being able to play this through again with like a different character?
No, I get that. In my art preview, I was like, no, this isn't like swapping out character for character. This is, if Frank West had been there, everything would be different. The character, like TK from Terror's Reality, Stacy Forsythe, or whatever her name is, All those kids. See, I know what I'm talking about. All those characters are in it. It's just, well, if Frank was there, the path to each of those things would be totally different.
Yeah.
So it's not like just swap them out. The journey will be completely different. So if you think that's enough to play
Not really.
Fortune City again.
I like Frank West. I just don't think he was that interesting of a character.
Yeah, but
he's
like
he's not Bruce Campbell.
Exactly.
Even though he sort of looks like
and I
him.
heard somewhere in the haze of Captivate that Japan is convinced that like Frank West is like a huge star in the West.
Yeah.
That like people love him.
No, you just actually bring him out and everything. So we know who
it's
he
funny.
is.
Well, no, they did they seem to think, nobody cares about Frank West. Make a new guy for this next game, and then right after they had set in stone that Chuck Green was the star of it, then they have this epiphany, like, oh no, Americans love Frank West. Let's put him in Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Let's put him in all this stuff.
We never should have combined Chuck Norris and Seth Green into one playable character.
I like that they mixed it up because it's like,
I
no,
do too.
it's a zombie
But then I
apocalypse.
also-
Like, here's another story.
I also like this. I also like a good reason to play through something I liked with
I would play through it again.
two different
I think-
circumstances.
I asked about the price because I'm still like, well, you're still reusing assets.
What if it's a Super Street Fighter price?
That's what I asked. I'm like, so Super Street Fighter 4, Capcom was very fine with it being $40, and he said it would be appropriately priced. The thing that concerns me about that, this was Blue Castle. This is Blue Castle.
They also sell a $250 arcade stick, so
Yes.
appropriately priced isn't for Capcom.
This is
to sell.
developed by Blue Castle, who's a Canadian team, so it was the only interview that didn't require a translator and a buffer to tell me, like, don't say that. That was a mistranslation. He said appropriately priced, but the whole time he kept being like, no, this is a huge game. This is more content than Dead Rising 2. This is a whole new game with Frank West photography is back, new combinations, a new multiplayer mode that puts the two together, blah, 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 blah.
But the co-op, the last one had co-op. You were just both Chuck Green.
Both Chuck Green.
Just because you're now Chuck Green and Frank West in co-op doesn't change it that much.
Yeah, but he's like, some of the combination weapons are the craziest stuff we've ever done. So I'm like, I hope he's not trying to make the case so that when he says appropriately priced, he means it's $60 because it's a lot.
So big, it's $60.
I feel like it'll be 40 or 50.
Even if they had even if it came with Case Zero and Case West, I still don't think that may be 50. Maybe.
Yeah. I think that's this year, so that's like this fall. I think August, October.
Also, how are they gonna? I don't know. There's not enough to do. It's not a very. There's not a lot of places to go. You kind of run out of place to go.
He said
they're not going to add new. Are they going to add?
They said there were new areas that Chuck did not explore, and there are new psychos on top of the ones that were already in there.
But Henry, to be
are we
fair,
going to have more time? Because there's never time in that game to do anything.
Probably not, because that's why I hate the game.
An argument, just to argue what you're saying, Henry. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Anyway,
no, you are.
Wow, they got really fucking mad.
That is a false equivalency.
No, that's right. Well, here's what I'm saying. Frank West comes and there's Yoshi, and it's the same game with Yoshi. So anyway, hold on. They also added Frank West, Yoshi, and Green Stars. So anyway, next Capcom thing. Oh, come on! I want.
They finally
time to get mad at this.
They announced Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition.
Boring.
Comes out June, whatever, in the middle of E3. So don't expect a review for that.
And it's on the PC though.
It is coming to PC, which is nice.
The Super Street upgrades.
So that's happening, which I'll probably fucking buy. It is coming DLC for $15, or there will be a disc version that has all of. It has all the Super Street Fighter 4 content plus Arcade Edition. I didn't say how much it was.
The Complete Works thingy.
I still have it.
But all these talk to each other, so no matter how you get it,
pre-order for $25.
That's probably correct. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I played a little bit of, and I went through the interview and stuff. What I played was a very good mix of both. It looks like Street Fighter 4 from a distance. Like models for the Capcom characters are almost identical, if not identical. But it has all the bounciness and the juggle combos of Tekken, where you can bounce people off the floor and then juggle, tag someone out, continue the juggle. And there's a launcher like MVC, but it's not like the huge skyscraper launcher. It's just pops them up in the air. Keep the juggles going, but then on the other side, the Tekken characters can now finally jump in for cross-ups and deep fierce. And I tried to play as King, but I talked to Seth Killian later that night, and he was like, "Oh yeah, King's a mess. Not like a mess bad, just that conversion of him into a 2D space is really challenging." And that was the character I always played as Tekken, and I was like, I'm just gonna hop right in, just got my ass kicked over and over and over again. Ryu and Ken, it felt really cool to have these juggle combos, tagging people out. I think there's really something there that's going to be really fun for both sides. The interesting thing I got out of the interview, though, I'm hoping to post a separate news story that's just this quote, but I asked Yoshinori Ono, main producer of all Street Fighter things these days. I asked him, so what's the day-to-day like? Do you have, like, back and forth with Namco? Like, that's too Tekken, or we're not putting that in a Street Fighter. And then Namco's like, no, that's... Our Tekken characters would never behave like that. And he's like, oh, they don't know anything. Like, you, right now, know more than Namco about this game. Like, it is completely isolated from Namco's involvement.
Namco's doing another one, right? Bye! Come say bye to people.
Yes, come interrupt my speech.
Yes.
Bye, everyone. Sorry, Brett, for...
Apology accepted. It's okay.
No. Put a sting on that. Say glowingstars.com or something.
Oh, theglowingstars.com.
Don't go there. That really sounds like all fucking golden buttholes. What? It's not. Lizzie doesn't own glowingstars.com.
Why did everything turn into buttholes?
I don't know where that reference...
You chose stars!
Oh, it's a Weezer reference.
Oh, well, the butthole is a star, just so you know.
So
It's a chocolate starfish, so I've heard.
There you go.
Chia.
Hey, wait, what Weezer song is that a reference to?
What?
What Weezer song is that a reference to?
Falling for You on the Pinkerton album.
Oh.
And you love your Pinkerton.
Yeah,
I love Pinkerton too.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating.
It's really as beautiful. Pinkerton's finally seen its day. I'm sorry. I'm probably the first person to say that. But I did love Pinkerton.
Going
when
out
it
on a
came
limb
out,
and
and
saying-
nobody else did, and Weezer disappeared, and it was very depressing.
I did just check out a video before I left my desk. There will be an exclusive new video on the internet with the Glowing Stars and Veronica Belmont.
Oh my God!
Whoa.
That's on the internet, people. Theinternet.com. Do you have a website?
Google the internet and you'll find it.
You could post it on the landing page. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
If it's
I
up,
might.
If it's up by
If
Friday.
the money's right.
Oh.
You see how this is working
Capcom
out.
gave me a lot of money for this entire segment.
Exactly.
So I need
You
some
interrupted
kind
this
of...
very lucrative segment.
I'm rubbing my fingers together.
No, I called you in
All
here.
right.
Bye then.
Bye.
But yeah, Ono said it's like they don't have a clue. Like, you guys in this room now know more than Namco does.
Well,
and
they
I
are
didn't
doing
get
their own separate game,
I didn't
right?
get a chance to follow up because they're like, interview over, time's up, go. Like, I'm like, but I haven't. I wanted to ask, like, are you worried about what they're doing with Street Fighter? Like, I never got a chance to
But
ask.
they are doing their own separate
Yes,
game.
they're doing
But
Tekken.
they're way further off.
It's the year after.
Okay.
They're doing Tekken Cross Street Fighter for 2013.
2013?
Like anyone will care.
Well, we'll all be dead.
The world ends.
2013.
Have you guys, on that topic of the world ending, have you guys seen the billboards in this area?
Yeah, Judgment Day.
Judgment Day is May 21st.
No, it was like May 3rd, 1997, and Sarah Connor prevented that.
Have you seen the update to the billboard?
No.
There's now a starburst on it that says Bible guaranteed.
Bible guaranteed.
Bible guaranteed. We call that in the industry a violator.
When you go up 101 south to work tomorrow, keep looking on the right-hand side for this billboard. Bible guaranteed. Judgment Day, May 1st, May 21st.
I looked into
which
this.
sucks because I'm going on vacation the next week. I mean,
see, I looked into
that's
this.
a week
It
of
was-
Mondays right there, guys.
There's there's this Oakland-based Catholic dude who owns a radio station, and he says that he has thoroughly studied the Bible for the past 10
all
years,
have.
and he's like, I know exactly when the rapture is happening. May 23rd, 2011. Get ready, everybody.
I don't know what he's going to do.
And then-
When it comes and doesn't happen.
Well, this is not.
Is he going to stage something? Like, is he going to set something off? So
he might need something to happen.
He's done this before.
He has a
predicted
history of it.
Yeah, and then the other time he's like, well, I was off those other times, but this time I've really studied it. I missed
because
a
of the
couple things."
left-wing liberal media.
You guys sound like a bunch of sacrilegious people. I believe in King Jesus, and I welcome.
No, that's totally fine.
I
But when
welcome King Jesus' return and all the Armageddon that comes along with
And
that.
the blasphemy monster
the
with 7
streets
heads.
of blood, and the rapture of all the non-believers who didn't throw money at God while they were
It's
here.
just
That's wrong. That's why I
it's
do it
just
every
a
day.
ballsy move to call the exact day.
No, like everyone. I don't want to get on this discussion, but no, everyone's free. Believe what you want, do what you want. But when you start fear mongering to that level, like, you will all die.
I disagree.
And put a bill and buy billboard space for it.
I disagree. First of all, it's very rare that the church has been wrong on anything specifically.
Correct.
And
I can see.
And second of all, they always answer to what they're wrong about, like whether it's
Yes.
molesting boys or the date of Armageddon. They always apologize and say, like, that was wrong. Like,
or torturing Jews until they convert. You know?
They never say that, like, this is selective. It's just part of, like, being I would say white and American. Like, that's what's really important.
I mean,
about
America is where Christianity started, if I'm not
it is.
mistaken.
Yes, if you're an altar boy, it's like you're succumbing to me. You're submitting yourself.
Careful
to me.
with that
Well,
word.
Matt looks really really mad at me for a second. What?
I wasn't mad.
All right. You're like, oh my god, you just make an altar boy.
I just felt
joke?
filthy. That's all.
Were you an altar boy?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No repressed memories.
Do you mind if I check you for fisting wounds? Just saying.
They would leave what kind of marks?
I don't know. Like
Jeepers creepers.
Yes, Casio stretch marks. Like, that's what I'm looking for right now.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Depending on the era, I want to see if I can see the imprint of a calculator watch on the inside of your
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. I'm talking about you.
I'm trying to picture priests wearing calculator watches.
Imagine your priest is Jim Henson as you as Kermit the Frog. That's what I'm talking about.
Right,
like he's all the way up in there.
Right, I get it.
I was pretty proud of my calculator watch as a kid.
I'm sure you were.
Where did it go?
I think I dropped it
in a butt.
It dropped into Kermit's butt.
I probably put it in like my pocket in the laundry.
It's really weird. Actually, I'm lucky enough to I've had one grandparent die. Like all my awful grandparents are still alive, but my grandfather died, and he I took his badass 1978 calculator watch because it's giant. Whatever the fuck Dick Tracy was answering stuff in, that's what my grandfather's watch looks like. Look, it can hold 3 phone numbers.
Christopher, I'm on my way.
He was not but we can keep doing it like that. Chris, I'm on my way. Oscar Charlie.
Where are
Aren't you gonna frisk me?
Frisk me. I got 3 phone numbers in here. You, your mother, and Domino.
All right.
And a popa.
Maybe we should.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Hank. You're trying to move on to
combat time.
Hang on, I saw something else.
God damn it!
Surely I saw something else.
People stopped caring 10 minutes ago.
Oh, Ajura's Wrath I saw, which I haven't written about yet.
Yeah.
It's hard to peg this fucking game, man. Their assets and stuff are probably on the site by now.
Yeah, you can watch a trailer. Trailer's on the site.
The trailer I should post because the whole demo, they're like, this game is so amazing. It's so unique, and it's going to be so hot, you're all going to take your clothes off. And, I'm not kidding. This was the way they were presenting it. I'm like, wow, I'm eager to see what this game's all about. And so they start it, and it's this incredibly, just amazingly, art direction, the character design, everything looks fantastic. It's Ajura, who's a four-armed deity, and it's a mix of Asian mythology and science fiction stuff. So, but then it goes all fucking Dragon Ball Z, and he's fighting a guy the size of a mountain, and then he beats that guy, and this is all just a cutscene that looks fantastic. It's just typical anime stuff, but it looks amazing.
It's over 9,000.
Well over 9,000. But then the god that he beat up comes back, and he's bigger than the fucking planet. He's hovering outside of Earth's gravity. And his hand... What the fuck is on my tongue?
I don't know.
Oh.
You can't interrupt your boring with more boring.
Ew. All right, there it
trying
goes.
to play more Mortal Kombat.
The giant dude, now the size of the planet, and your guy, Ajura, is still just a normal size. He's moving his finger down into the atmosphere to crush you with his finger, and his finger is burning up on re-entry. And the whole time the camera angles, and you're screaming and all that shit, which only a Japanese voiceover can provide. And then the game starts, and I'm like, here we go. Here we go. It's one giant QuickTime event. And I mean X, triangle, mash X, move the cursor left and right, move a reticle around to shoot some stuff. And I'm like, no.
It's coming straight to iPhone.
It's like, no, really, where's the game? Because this is really cool, and I would love to just sit and watch this. But when you interrupt this amazing fight with really tacked on bullshit like this, I was not impressed at all. And they quickly previewed no, that's just a boss battle, so that's only that spot. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. But they didn't show what the rest of the game looked like. They only showed briefly what looked like a third-person Devil May Cry style camera where you're beating up enemies and combos and stuff. So it's okay, maybe. So it'll be a mix of the two. But they didn't go into any detail on that at all. They just focused on this incredible boss fight that would have been amazing if they just played a movie file and we all sat back and went, oh, shit.
I just like to say that my finger always burns up on re-entry.
He does. He's got the Casio marks to prove it.
That's kind of it. They also showed Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D, but I've already talked about that for 3DS, so...
I think you're...
Combat time!
It is time for Mortal Kombat.
Because my battery's running. Combat time.
Man.
How many combat things did we run this week? Answer: a lot.
Something every day. Or two.
No, 2 things a day about.
A lot.
I've done at least 1 thing a day at this point.
I'm trying, but all mine are so big they take all of my free time that I should have had if people could do their jobs.
Mine are bigger. We finally got to run this Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. We have the fucking live action show. I don't know what we're going to do with it just yet.
I would love to do what you proposed.
Exactly, but I just assumed there'd be some barrier like, well, we don't own the rights to that. Like, the people who do are out of business and don't care, and like it's never been released anywhere, so let's just do it.
Yeah.
But Defenders of the Realm, super stupid nonsense.
Aired after, the cartoon.
The cartoon.
That was on USA.
USA.
Which I did watch every Saturday morning.
Yeah, like, well...
I hate that I watched all this shit. It was totally worked.
Yeah, you were kind of fucking age at that point.
No, see, here's what happened. At 15, at 15, I made a very, this is not like, this is honestly not like, well, because I couldn't get laid, I decided this. It was I started reading Calvin and Hobbes around 12 or 13. It was a little late.
Game, buddy.
Well, I'd never heard of it. We didn't have newspapers where I was. So, yes, that was serious. So, like, one of those throwaway gifts that your relatives get for you, my sister one year just got me a collection of Calvin and Hobbes. And I was like, well, my sister, I guess she's 7 years older, so probably doesn't understand what I like, but whatever. Then I read it and I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
I got mine in 1989 for my birthday, and I literally said, "This isn't Garfield. What the fuck is this?" It hadn't been in our paper yet. I was reading the comics constantly, and it was the first book, and my parents found it at Sam's Club.
But Calvin and Hobbes, I personally attribute Calvin and Hobbes to so around the age of I think 13, I was like, holy fuck, this is all about childhood, and this is about when this is over, it's over. I can't be a kid once I decide to grow up. You cannot revert. So I made this decision. I had even that was the Christmas I didn't the Christmas before. I'm I don't want any toys. I don't want any of that shit. I'm trying to get over this. I'm not really interested. I wasn't even that interested in games for a good year. I didn't buy it. I just hung out with friends and did shit, listened to music, all that stupid, pointless crap, right? But then Calvin and Hobbes, I was like, holy fuck, once I do this, I can't go back.
You can't go back.
So I thought, no, I'm going to hang on to this.
And that's why you ended up working at Toys R Us.
No. That was way later.
That's a very profound point, because I read it earlier on, and I saw the dangers in Calvin's questioning something you ever wonder why people just go to work every
yes,
yeah, obviously, because I'm 9. That seems really stupid. Everything you're saying, Calvin, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So my whole life I've grown up just angry and everything he said was everything Calvin and Hobbes.
No, everyone should read Calvin and Hobbes. That shit is it's a revelation.
But I read it now and I'm like this stupid subversive comic ruined me forever. It did.
It really did. And I made that conscious decision. So 15, 16, even 17, I just was the fucking town selection of girls I had to choose from was not great. There were even if I wanted to, all the girls that there were fucking drug addicts.
Sure.
Or friends I'd had since kindergarten, and that was just fucking weird. Or stupid preppy fucking vapid girls who it's I love
that hoe ass shit. Man.
Yes, wow, you're really on top of
this. This whole hoe ass shit.
Did he burn up on re-entry?
It was a boss bit.
So I made that conscious decision to stay a kid. I'm going to buy toys.
What are we talking about?
Buy toys, watch cartoons, watch all this shit, revel in it, and I'm going to enjoy my last 3 years where I can get away with this shit. And that's why I watched Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
There we go.
Yes.
Combat time. And,
it is back to combat time.
Combat time.
And then at 18, let's make out. Let's fuck everything.
I can't remember much about this other than being superbly disappointed.
It's bad.
Well, I'd say the Darkstalkers cartoon is worse.
It's worse.
Where did that fucking air though? I guess USA. Right?
USA as well. They were all USA. The thing with Defenders of the Realm was it's just like Street Fighter, where they're we have to take all these characters and put them in a show. Luckily,
the most bizarre mishmash of characters,
yes.
Nightwolf, fucking Jax.
Yeah, well, it's because they needed
Sonya Blade, Sub-Zero, Striker.
They needed a racially diverse. That's why you've got Katana as Japanese, Liu Kang is Chinese, Jax is a black guy.
And who is Sub-Zero?
Sub-Zero he's just a cool Asian dude.
Listen.
Hey, don't walk away. I'm talking to you, ninja.
You sorely test my patience, Striker.
Can you tell the voice actor there? It is a famous person.
Really?
Whose name you will recognize.
Raiden's voice sounded familiar to me in that show.
Nothing burns hotter than ice. Jesus Christ.
It's pretty bad. Anybody want to take a guess? Teen heartthrob from your youth.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Ooh, it's almost nice. Very close, Henry. Very close, but no.
Will Wheaton.
Think cute.
I feel like he's on the tip of my tongue.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, a little older. Same era. Let's think Fox shows.
The kid who played Bud Bundy.
Think drama. Henry.
Fucking Johnny Depp.
Matthew Fox.
Drama. But close. Aaron Spelling.
Jason Priestley.
Got close. Very close.
Luke Perry.
It is Luke Perry.
Is it really?
Sub-Zero is Luke Perry.
Yeah, I can hear it now.
Test my patience, Striker.
Yeah.
Luke Perry.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Man,
You guys got that really quick.
How much their budget they blow on that?
That was really great. And he's not even the most embarrassing thing about it. The fact that everybody here is that every character here is really petty and juvenile.
They're all terrible people. And then, Sonya, of course, because she's a woman, they have a shot of her in the kitchen, stirring a pot, and then throws it down. Why can't I be a woman when I want to?
Just this once. I do have clips of some of this. Everybody pointed out that the rare Kano appearance in this clip. Thank you to the Switcher. He gave us this.
Yes.
It's all edited by the Switcher. More stupidity stuff. Some of my favorite shit in the world. Please go look at it.
Yes. Mortal Kombat stupidity.
Kano sounds like Jason Statham.
A little bit.
And wait, who's the one who says combat?
Combat time.
Sonya.
Did nobody notice when the scene when she's cooking, she's stirring something off camera, and then the guy comes in and he reaches down right where her crotch is, and you hear this wet sound, and then he pulls up his finger and tastes it, and he's like, "That's foul."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bye, baby.
That's Kano.
Wow.
Combat time.
God damn it.
Combat time. Combat time.
It's never too early for combat.
What I like about that is they had the good grace to record it new each time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a scanned combat.
Yeah, that's good.
Contextual combat
But
time.
everybody
with a K.
Wait, I think this is Raiden clip?
Tell you what, though. I won't even use my special talents.
Yeah, who is that?
I'm gonna kick your sorry tail mortal style.
I think that's Lex Luthor from Superman the Animated.
Clancy Brown.
Thank you.
That's not Clancy Brown, is it?
I think it is.
The fuckstick from Shawshank Redemption?
Yes, and also he was in. He was the.
He's Mr. Krab. Arr,
yes, and he was the sergeant in Starship Troopers, the one who threw the knife.
And he's going to be he's the voice of the Goon.
Is he really?
He's perfect.
Yeah. Wow.
Perfect.
Goon is good stuff.
Just as Ron Perlman is perfect for Hellboy, he's perfect for the Goon.
That's pretty good.
But the clips of the show, and I'm sure I'm just judging off what the Switcher highlighted for me because that's how I
watched a lot of the show.
These things. It's all very petty drama involving the Mortal Kombat gang in their cave. They have a
cave and a jet and a boat.
It's one of the greatest scenes. I'm riding with Nightwolf.
Yes, yes.
We're having an argument.
If they were going by the same rules that the Batman animated series had at the time, one of the rules was you cannot have you can't have contact when punching someone. That was against the rules because kids would want to punch each other if they saw Batman actually punch someone in the jaw. So they on the Batman animated series, you see either a flash of light
and falling
when contact would happen, or maybe silhouettes punching each other, or a quick pan away.
That shows you how good that show is.
The funniest thing is
they worked around that.
They did it the best of any show.
In this video, I forget who the fuck it is. They throw a fireball, and oh my god, it's coming at Sonya Blade. It's coming at Sonya, and it hits her in the stomach, and it just moves her around, and she it's sort of like if you threw someone a ball in anti-gravity and saw them react to it, it doesn't burn her or go through her or knock her down. It just picks her up in the air and plays with her a little bit.
Well, Ermac's abilities do that.
Whatever. I just want to get into the petty shit. I should probably get this out of the way.
Resurrection is complete. Lives again.
Yeah, that was one of the most hilarious ones.
Yes.
This elaborate ritual, resurrect him, and then backhands him
then
immediately.
Just
that music that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a couple of things.
I really thought that he added that in, but it's very much.
That's the show. The intro is, I think, narrated by Raiden / Shawshank Redemption dude,
which is weird because
and it's him narrating it to techno music because that Techno Syndrome song by the Immortals was synonymous with Mortal Kombat at the time.
Techno Syndrome. It's like me making a song called Rock Ritual for Sonic. Fuck, God damn it.
It is. But on top of that, Kano, his Australian accent comes from the actor who played Kano in the movie. Did you miss me? That's a line from the movie. That actor was...
Anything with the movies this week?
Nah, maybe next.
Okay.
I'm too...
Maybe next fuck this week.
I hate everything.
The point to take away from this is that everybody in this fucking show is a petty shithead.
Yes.
And I love this exchange between Jax and Wraith. I can't capture the picture correctly. I wanted to post it on the site of Jax playing in the water.
Oh yeah,
telling Raiden to come in there. He's like,
"Come
no,
on in,
he's
girlfriend."
Like, I'm made of electricity. Like he doesn't explain that to him, but just like Jax with his giant metal arms, which should be making him sink to the bottom and drowning him forever. Jax and Raiden.
My powers are acting very strange. Qualify strange. I feel like I'm losing my powers. Happy?
God.
Do you have the Sonya and Jax?
Oh, I do. Because I didn't know what this was. Switcher does a good job of building up to this.
Yes.
No, kick higher, girl. You gotta keep him off guard.
Something like that, blubber butt?
Hey, don't you ever call me that.
It just happens over and over again.
Yes,
don't you
that
ever call me
that
blubber
episode
butt.
is about him dealing with his grief as a fat kid. Is it?
When I was a kid,
special episode.
8, 9 years old.
I was the Top Gun anthem bringing him in.
I don't mean just a little pudgy either. I'm talking fat, like the fattest kid in school.
That's big.
Yeah.
Jax, the fattest kid.
But it's teaching fat kids watching it at home that they could grow up to be as good as
they could grow up to get bionic arms because the regular ones aren't good enough.
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything. I just woke up one day with mechanical arms and I was no longer fat.
What are you talking about? Did you completely miss the message of Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Those arms aren't what's really powerful about
That's not where strength comes from.
I see.
It's the combat amulet.
There's a new Mortal Kombat album, but it's not very funny.
I know.
It's just real music.
So this is from the Mortal Kombat movie.
Please.
Really quick. The good one. Yeah, you know this scene. It's Johnny Cage versus Scorpion.
Sure.
Narrated by Fear Factory. It's fucking great song, Zero Signal. Look it up.
I tried to play a sound effect.
Right.
Whoops.
So this is...
I still got it with my microphone.
We're so amused at that. Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, which is a great fucking scene. It's a great set. It's well choreographed. But then I couldn't decide as a 15-year-old if this was stupid or okay. Scorpion always says, "Get over here." But then Johnny Cage goes up really high. Yes.
Excuse me.
So then Scorpion looks up and sees him and says... Oh, here he goes.
Get down here!
And they even gave it the proper echo
Yes.
as if it sounds like his catchphrase.
And I couldn't decide if is that really stupid or is it well, no, wait, that's his voice.
Oh, it's very serious.
And he would say any movie would in that situation would probably just have someone say "Get down here" anyway. So I couldn't decide which one.
I felt old this week. Cool. I would look at people obsess over I don't know, Barbarella or Jane Fonda. That bitch and her big fucking hair and her stupid hips.
Or Howdy Doody.
Yeah, what are you talking? Well, I'm talking about things you would want to put your penis in.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Howdy Doody.
Maybe you were too. Yeah. All right. I'll take that. But I'll also take a pair of tweezers to pull those fucking splinter teeth out of my face. It doesn't matter because the Sonya Blade I've already expressed. That video on the number 1 of the top 7, very hot. The woman,
all right.
The woman, Carrie Hoskins, I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
She's in all these fucking scantily clad poses, wearing Mortal Kombat gear.
Yeah,
and
she was on the cover of several magazines.
I twittered a picture about it. I twittered. Did you see that?
No.
Of her high kicking with a pair of Daisy Dukes with a string in the middle, and somebody said I was this might not be safe for work, and somebody just twittered back to me. Dude, I love badge mounts. Totally safe for work.
It was reminiscent of that Tomb Raider one you found a while back.
That you put the critters in.
It's precursor. It's the precursor to the meat in an Arby's sandwich.
Oh my god!
It's right. It gets right
so
there.
So close.
It's so very, very close, but totally safe for work.
I've also heard described as beef curtains.
Beef curtains. Beef curtains. Meat mounds. I'll take all of that. What? Don't act so grossed out. It's beautiful. It smells terrible, but it's just delicious.
Come on.
No, all right. I want to. Come on, we're all men, right? We want to talk about pussy. Jesus Christ.
What a weird choice.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean specifically baby pussy, but that's nice. That is nice too. But Carrie Hoskins, there's this making a Mortal Kombat 3 video, and I loved what sort of blew my mind.
I started out with NBA Jam as a cheerleader, and then I went to Revolution X as Mr. Zelda. And they asked me to do Mortal Kombat. They needed me,
Sonya Blade is a cheerleader in NBA Jam and the headmistress in Revolution X. For me, I was what? That can't be. Amazing. You're all the same person. She's that pretty.
Blew my mind.
She's a fucking stem cell. You just stick her in a thing, and she's that hot girl because she's just that like naturally hot. And she whispers. I thought this was very sexy.
Okay, come here. I don't know if I should be telling you this, but I'm going to show you a move. Okay? Listen. You can go back, forward, back, and then down. And then push the run button. And if you do that really fast, I'll be your friend forever.
Man, that gets me hard.
Does it? Isn't that fucking crazy?
That, seriously.
No, it is. My pants are tight.
That's the sexiest controller combination I've ever heard.
Yeah,
she's from Deer Park, Illinois.
I had no idea from that accent that she was Midwestern in any way. Well, if you go back, and hit run.
She was also Vala in War Gods.
I know, she's a beautiful lady, and her only credits are Playboy and Midway Games.
No, yeah. She trained for 2 years in Tang Soo Do, a Korean martial art.
Holy shit, can we cut this out? I have to piss, and we've been going so long.
Kilimanjaro.
Inappropriate. There's no Halo in this fucking segment, asshole.
I think we're good to move on to number 3, right?
Number 3. That's right.
That's right.
Hopefully, a guest I really wanted to have on the show forever is coming on next week when we're going to talk about Portal.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So
let me give a hint.
What?
Snickety snick.
What? Oh, all right. All right. All out. We come back. We will
battle of jellyfish.
No. We will just do game deals and community stuff.
Yay.
Me through this. Hi, what's my name?
John DiMaggio.
That's right, and you're listening to
TalkRadar.
TalkRadar.
At GamesRadar.
At GamesRadar.com.
.com, yes.
That's right, I got it.
Bring it on, sucker. This my kind of shit. Finish him. Wait. Before you do that, massage him.
What? Did you say massage him?
You dare defy the great Shao Kahn, Lord of the Outworld and creator of all that is evil?
Well, yeah, maybe.
I say, massage him.
All right, fine.
Oh, yeah.
Is this good?
Oh, that's good, yeah. Loosen up those muscles. Oh, you're so tense from the battle. Here, use these scented oils on him.
What? All right, stop. Okay, listen, I can't do this. All right?
Clean him.
What? But no, I'm not gonna bathe him. Okay, he's fine. He's clean as is. He took a shower before.
Clean him, or you will be destroyed.
Great. All right. This is really not what I thought a fight to the death tournament could be like. But
do as I say, or your soul will be mine.
Always with the soul stealing.
Oh, shit. Now we're in business, baby. Could you scrub his neck a little and then hold up the sponge so I can smell it? Oh.
Yeah, gross. Okay, I can't do this anymore. This is creeping me out.
Put a wig on him.
Wow, this is getting a little weird. Okay, I can't...
Could you fix the bangs a little bit?
Fix the bangs? He's just... Okay, stop moving. You gotta... Alright, is that good?
Oh, much better. Oh, don't you look pretty, little lady there? What's your name, Vivica? Oh, I like that name.
Vivica?
It suits you. But no, I couldn't. I don't know if you'll go for it.
You know, I can hear you. You're very loud. Everyone here can hear you.
Make out with him.
But there's no way, okay? I'm not making out with Liu Kang. Go ahead and kill me. That's what I choose death.
Please make out with him?
No, okay? There's no way.
Come on. It's a new special move. It's called, sexuality.
Really? It seems like you just kind of made that up right now. Because usually I freeze the guy and I just punch their heads off and there's little blood crystals that fly.
Fine. Whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Don't get mad about it.
I'm not mad.
You sound mad.
I'm not mad.
All right. Well, then could you make it official at least? You know, say the words?
Fine. Finish him. Wait. But, you know, before you do your thing, I was wondering if you could, finish me?
Oh, gross! Ew, man, that's disgusting!
No, wait.
I'm out of here.
Don't go. Sub-Zero. Subby Wubby. Come on, man, let's rub it out. Let's work it out. That's what I meant, not rub it. Work it out. You know what? Scorpion's hotter than you anyway.
See the full video at gopotato.tv. The iTunes reviews are in.
Wishart says, a wonderfully pungent gaming cluster shard. Kyrian BC says, spawned from the heavens, absolute brilliance on so many levels. Melzul says, pants-crappingly hilarious. And Game Dad says, the constant belching and F-bombs make the podcast feel immature.
Get over here!
TalkRadar for the win.
Hey, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast?
Yeah!
What's bringing us in?
What's bringing us in?
Never!
Oh, it's from that stupid Mortal Kombat album.
Oh, yeah.
Skrillex Reptile.
I was hoping they would be new Awesome Immortals caliber bullshit songs.
No lyrics. None.
Really?
No lyrics.
Huh.
It's all respectable music, which will sound just as stupid 5 years from now.
If that CD was made by Capcom, they would have tried to do something stupid with it, like the Mega Man 10 art.
Well, that's why I played the Reptile one, because they used the sound effects. And are we still doing a Reptile evolution?
Yes, it goes up Thursday.
Oh,
it went up Thursday.
Beautiful. A Reptile, I love that character.
It looks great when Michael turns it in.
Yes.
But speaking of lyrics, the aforementioned karaoke that I went to, and everyone did some really good shit. But really interesting moment was what else? What's the word? I'm trying to think of
elephants.
Ambiguous Eastern European man singing. Killing me softly, killing words with
me softly
with my words and his
bringing
arms.
me down to my knees.
I just watched
this
it in
song,
watched it
this
in
very song.
Just like wow,
wow.
Yeah,
go for it. Is it time for game deals?
My powers are acting very strange. Qualify strange. I feel like I'm losing my powers. Happy?
It's synonymous for how I feel right now.
They are all petty, whiny assholes in that show.
It's really about him becoming impotent.
Exactly.
Hey, Bray, I heard a funny thing that...
it better be.
Well, I read, Jeff Gerstmann was at your thing too, and I read
I talked to him a bit.
That apparently, while you guys were out partying at at those clubs, he was woken up by a fire alarm.
No, I was there for that.
Oh, you were there for the fire alarm?
Yep. I got back around 1:30, and around 3 o'clock in the morning, I was still up because of the time difference, because of the concert, and I was still drunk. I have a hard time sleeping when I'm not drunk enough to pass out, but too drunk to sit still.
Right.
It's a dangerous drunk level. That's the drunk. That's the drunk level that leads to other worse.
Drink on food that level.
That leads to stupider decisions. Yeah, I'm like, maybe I'll try to lay down, and all of a sudden, like, lights filling my fucking windows, and I hear this voice, this muffled. Attention. So I open my windows, like, and I'm trying to hear, like, what the fuck, but. Some asshole below me, there's an air conditioner, so all I hear is... I can't hear what the fucking warning is, but the whole building is flooded with, like flashing lights. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Sounds like a fire alarm. So I look in the hallway. None of those lights were going off. It was just in the center where my windows are facing. So, yeah. Which, weirdly, is a bookend for the entire trip, because the trip began after... So we're on a plane that is filled to the... front to back GAMS journalism. This plane went down. We're in trouble. Like
a lot of forum kids.
Oh my god! Like 3 GameSpot, 2 Giant Bomb, me,
you
Scott,
with Shawnee and Richie,
me, Scott, Kevin from OXM, people from fucking game trailers. I mean everything. Bad idea, games industry, to put all your eggs in one basket, because the last 30 minutes of that flight was Miami the air just decided to say, fuck y'all, and even the pilot came on after, like, 10 minutes of us, like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know
oh my god, we are, like, dipping and gaining altitude at rapid speeds, and the captain comes on, he's like, this is usually the level of turbulence associated with a storm, but there's no storm, so I don't know.
That's terrible.
He's like, I mean, I was like, I don't know.
All I'm saying is WTF.
Magneto might be controlling the plane right now.
Just saying, I know it's federal offense, but smoke 'em if you got them.
Yeah.
But like, and we're all like, that was not comforting, and so we're all fucking like legitimate. And then finally, the fucker lands. We're like, okay, whoo, sweat off brow moment. And then the moment we get off, the second I walk through the door, I get off the plane, and in that that half a foot gap between the plane and the walkway that rolls up,
the umbilicus.
Yeah.
Rain hits me in the eyeballs. And I'm like, it's raining now? And torrential downpour begins. And the moment I then walk through the door, and I can see Ricardo and Sean from GameSpot, the moment I pass through the door, the whole airport, like Galaga noises, and there's lights going off, and it's the fucking fire alarm for the airport.
Wow.
And this fucking like Shao Kahn style voice, the Homeland Security and the fire department are on their way. Your Los Angeles Laker, like that kind of fucking voice. Oh, and so then,
ladies and gentlemen, kiss.
So then that was ended with another random fire alarm at Captivate. So that's all right. That's all. I couldn't wait to share that story.
All right.
God bless everyone who stuck around.
Game deals. It's a better podcast than the other when you're friends with it. Thank you.
Do any other podcasts have this 120 minutes into the show?
No. 120. Stop it. Oh, dude, look at this. Sam's Club. People are finding God of War 3 at Sam's Club. Name a price.
They
Henry.
should.
What do you think? What do you think the price is going to be?
$25.
$25. Elston, I see 25.
I'm gonna go with 30.
30. Matty Keys.
$29.99.
That would be $7. Under $7. Under $7 for a God of War 3.
It's only a year old.
Yeah, but it's however it's depends on where you go. It's not specific to every Sam's Club, but $6.91 under $7.
Shit. That's dark sector prices.
Also,
I'd actually buy it at that price.
At Costco, which we all have company memberships to.
I haven't signed up for mine.
Apparently.
You're an idiot. It's
well, I don't have a car. I can't get there.
The native idiots take offense to that.
I live 4 blocks from one, so come move out where I am.
In the city?
Yes, I go there all the time. I go there literally once a week.
It's on the Fringe.
Because Fringe is there only the second and third season for like $9.
Oh.
Like, please give me the first season. Give me the fucking first season. I bought all the Disney Afternoon for $8. $8 a piece.
That's when you do your cartons and cartoons.
For every week they stop selling cigarettes at Costco.
Oh, nice.
Because San Francisco banned irony. You can't have pharmaceuticals. You can't sell the cause and the cure in the same space.
Oh my
you can't
God.
sell cigarettes.
And irony.
Yes.
And if San Francisco liberals.
Oh, something else
really
I saw.
irritating.
Speaking of seeing things in stores, when I was trying to buy toothpaste in Miami,
Please.
right next to it was family-sized anal ease.
Family size.
Yes. No, and it said like
when you need to fit the whole family.
And it said like travels. I don't know what the fuck. It wasn't family size. It was giant size or something like that. But then the slogan was ease into comfort. And like,
wow,
a comfort is a butthole.
A Golden Corral Sizzler strength. Like,
and I'm like, wait, I live in San Francisco. I go into a lot of weird places. I've never seen butt lube just readily displayed on a counter, like right next to the Mountain Dew checkout. Right? Would you like some
in Miami?
Would you like some Stride, some Trident, some butt grease?
When I went to Costa Rica, I couldn't speak the same language as the family I was living with, and
so they haven't been colonized.
There was like a 16-year-old girl and like a 10-year-old boy, and they'd all cover their faces like right where our mics are, and it would rub stuff, like do something like, "Don't look at me," they would say in Spanish, and in very humid places, they would rub lubricant in their nose in Costa Rica to keep from boogies. I had no idea that ever happened. They would Vaseline like right up in the nose, like just straight up lubricant. Game deal. Sorry about that. Oh, Costco. I was saying.
Yes.
$264, a PS3, 160 gigabyte.
That's good.
Slim edition. $260.
That's pretty good.
Jesus. You got a 4 gigabyte Xbox for that, and you have to have a Kinect. That's gross.
Yes, I don't want that.
Yes, that's a great idea, Microsoft. That's fucking sat there for ever since the launch with no other games.
You might notice you
launch.
can find discounted Xbox Live Gold subscriptions that will give you a free Kinect game at this point. Well, it's to get the rubes in.
Even if the rubes got in, what the fuck are they going to buy?
It doesn't matter.
Jackson.
But
like, it's... They're
just going to keep playing Kinectimals.
Annie!
Just keep having a good time.
Are you okay? Fucking Amazon also has DJ Hero turntable bundles for every platform. How much? Anybody?
$20.
It's too low, Hank. That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It was $30 for the turntable.
DJ Hero 2 or 1?
And the turntable.
I didn't play
$30.
2.
X-Men Origins also at Amazon. X-Men Origins Wolverine $14.99.
That's such a good game.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's very good. Totally worth $14.99.
Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story.
Ooh.
What?
25.
It's 22. 22 is
that's really good.
It's one of my favorite DS games.
That was fantastic.
That was the DS game of the year in 2009. Like, and one of the last like truly great DS games.
Fucking thoroughly love that.
And if you're looking, I recommend it especially to people who bought 3DSs and have nothing to play them on.
Yeah, you can play that.
I can't recommend that because the 3DS plays DS games. They look worse.
Well, there's that there's that cheat where you can get it to play in its normal aspect ratio where it looks fine.
Really?
Yeah, something like holding the R button down or...
It has the black bars around it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the aspect ratio. It's like the clarity. It's fuzzier.
Right, but
it's fuzzier because
it shrinks it
but
down to its proper resolution.
Non-promoted cheat to get it displayed.
I see,
It's original aspect ratio.
I see.
Plants vs. Zombies for DS is also $12.99, and I'm a big PvZ fan.
I'm a fan, but I'm like, that's the game I'm like, just put that shit on my Android, please.
They haven't done that yet?
No.
Oh, shit. Well, whatever.
PopCap in general is not really represented on Android, which I'm like, come the fuck
kinda
on. How many
ridiculous.
fucking subscribers do you need before you put one on there?
It's on
More people have Android phones than iPhones.
Well, that's the problem.
I know, because it's not a standard. I get
Android-specific
it.
phones. It's like saying PC at this point.
I know
Android's
it's
PC
ambiguous and
phones.
whose phone does what, but it's like if you put one out there, people will still buy it.
And at Amazon Portal 2, you buy it before next week, you get $20 credit towards anything.
I need to do that.
I can't believe it happens.
And it's $54.99.
Well, yeah, Charlie did it, and delivery date April 30th. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
he doesn't have Prime, and he probably didn't pay for the he didn't pay for the fast shipping. Who
you
gives
know
a
what?
shit?
With Prime, I get free release day delivery.
That should be fucking standard when you buy it a month ahead of time.
Well, yeah, probably.
I bought 3 games a month ahead of time, and I still got them a week after. Like, what's the fucking point? I will still drive my ass.
Do you remember when it was one Harry Potter book that came out where you would pre-order it and like we'll get it to you day of.
Yeah.
And they could never guarantee that to the point where they couldn't guarantee it wouldn't get there ahead of schedule. So all the boxes said, well, all the boxes said, do not open until blah, 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 like, please don't. Yeah. You're making faces, man.
I had to do that with Order of the Phoenix. I had to put out those boxes that said do not open.
But I did see Shift 2 has $15 credit as well, and I think that's nice. I love the Shift games. Everything else is like digital platform specific services. XBLA, all Capcom's greatest DLC hits are 50% off. Bionic Commando Rearmed, Final Fight Double Impact.
Both good.
Mega Man 10 and
good.
Super Street Fighter 2 HD Remix.
Also good.
You know what's great is that there's so many words there.
The acronym is...
And the only one's really important is Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And every other word is like an add-on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, and on XBLA, I was just checking those deals last night. On today, Friday, there's a special one-day only deal on Microsoft published games like Limbo and not Braid, Limbo and other Castle Crashers, a lot of other stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
And also on PSN, Final Fight is $5, which is the same price on Xbox Live with the sale.
Yeah,
$5.
Yeah.
I really love Final Fight Double Impact. I just went and played it while I was waiting for something else to load the other day. I've been playing too much of that stupid Full House poker.
I saw that.
Steam Magica $5. I've heard nothing but great things about Magica. And Best Buy has Rockman 3, Green Day Rock Band for $20. Green Day Rock Band Plus, if you care, which I know you don't. Otherwise, it wouldn't be $20. And Force Unleashed 2 for $30, right? Happy to hear that, Maddie, former LucasArts employee.
And I reviewed that game.
Yeah. And what did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
An 8? Do you regret it? I bet it sucks.
I don't understand why people think it sucks.
The first one I think was the greatest worst game I've ever played.
But I may or may not regret giving it an 8.
See, look at that. We got him, and that is the end. Oh, what?
Just if you care, it's sort of a game deal because it's free. The Gears 3 beta begins this week for Bulletstorm.
That's true.
Yeah, if you bought Epic Edition of Bulletstorm, it's next week. If you pre-order Gears 3 at, I think, only GameStop.
I think PS3 gets it a day early. You can play the Gears 3 beta.
I think they have it already.
I think right now. Yeah. If you're a PlayStation, subscribe to PlayStation Plus, you should be able
also, to send the check to Games Radar.
There you go.
That'll help.
That too. We'll put in a good word for you with Captain Sony.
I'll call President Sony. Yeah. And he prefers Sir.
And that's why we do this, game deals.
Take my advice, do as I say, save a little money for a rainy day.
What do we normally do after this?
We normally go to the question of the week from last week. Got a fond memory of TalkRadar since that was the end of the month of our retrospective.
For some reason, people had been sending us in a lot of depressing, and it's not that I don't like hearing how we brought you out of the doldrums. It's just that a lot of people is like, why are you associated now with depressing things when you do nothing but try and make people laugh?
Yeah.
And I wanted to just like, well, tell us something cool. And like, going through the reactions, Silly Pigeon got it the most because he has it in quotations here. What I really wanted was a Me Too moment. Now that I think back about it, and he's like, Silly Pigeon says, what immediately jumps to mind is in the TalkRadar when Chris mentioned his only knowledge of Passover was from a Rugrats episode. I fucking screamed, me too. I remember that episode of Rugrats so well, and until TalkRadar, it was my only knowledge of the Passover I had. And like that's what I sort of wanted, like I love to bring out of people is like, oh fuck, I forgot I remembered that. Well,
I like that phone call last week of the person saying that they quoted Mystery Science Theater at the same time as I did it.
Yes, I did it. I like it very much. No, I want. Come on, give me something. I can't have anything, Hank.
I think
you're the comic guy. I'm the mystery science guy.
No, you said boot blacking, then I said I like it very much.
Right. But
what's wrong with boot black?
I couldn't. I recommend all of you in this room read through this because it's very, very lovely.
Touching.
It's very touching.
All right.
And
GamesRadar.com/forums.
That's why I couldn't get through it all.
Again, we PAX East. We met again another bunch of people who don't get in the forums or comment.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. But occasionally throw a comment in there. Let us know.
It's nice.
Helps us gauge that you care.
Mm-hmm. It helps our bosses show them something that
it's a very easy way to point and go look.
It's all right, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine as long as you come to PAX, which will be at PAX Prime.
You know what I want to do?
Do it. Go.
If you haven't, comment on the iTunes. Leave a review.
Those are helpful.
You don't have to 5-star it. Just leave one.
It's been a while since we asked for reviews, but those are
I was
helpful.
very upset because people started using the iTunes place to. They spoiled something. Man, 1 star. But you've been listening for months. Like that's don't get, that's not the place to complain.
That's your verdict of the entire show.
You're showing to like a majority of our listeners that this podcast sucks because I listened to it for 4 months and they ruined something I like. TalkRadar 119. This is the one that got me hooked. Says Matthole58. Coming off the back of a shock Halo Reach review. Joking. I just had to listen to your reaction. Inception music just cracked me up. Also, that same podcast was the worst game audio, and I showed it on my iPod to 2 of my mates, and they listen to it too now.
Wow.
It was icing on the cake to hear one of my answers for Question of the Week read out too. Again, thank you. Overall, I listened to TalkRadar 119 over 100 times.
For him hearing his response.
Wait, he's listened to that episode 100 times?
Evidently.
Wow.
Evidently.
Yes.
It's on, we put it on our old YouTube account, so it's that Inception thing. It was funny. Kaufman. The depressing stories are my fondest memory of TDar.
Jesus.
Being a massive sadist, I love hearing about others' pain and misfortune. Even though I'm pretty sure at least 98% of the stories told in the cast are partially, if not completely, made up in an attempt to out-sad each other.
I wonder that.
And you get the most pity. You guys are funny, but you ain't messiahs. That's where you're wrong, Kaufman.
I think you should bet everything that I say is correct.
I am the third revelation.
Yes!
The third revelation.
That movie.
I drink from your butt shake. I got hooked on the cast around episode 100 via my friend Mitch, A for Extreme, whom I love. Peer pressured me into submission, and the massive clip show got me hooked. It was an excellent summary of all the things that I had in store if I kept listening, and you guys did fill a gaping hole in my chest that was previously occupied by another podcast that had run itself into the ground with predictable jokes and forced edginess. Who could he mean? We'll never know. Well, I might not agree that everything you guys say. I gotta say, I'm looking forward to the future of the podcast. Keep up the good work, you smug Californian pricks. That's a good way to describe us. Graboids, who I know very well, who does a lot of great art for us. I was very like, oh shit, how did Graboids get to know us? My fondest TDar memories have to be all the times that I used to get me through the long work days on long road trips. Starting the fall of 09, I moved to Springfield, Missouri, back to St. Louis, Missouri.
Springfield, near south of the border, near Branson, Missouri.
And for a few months, I was driving
near Arkansas.
75 miles.
Wow.
He was driving 75 miles to and from work.
Oh, kill yourself.
A new job. I found a place.
The fuck? We drive
an hour every day.
We drive 75 to work every day.
If you were driving 80 to your job, you would go 75 miles every day.
I don't know. Yeah, I suppose so.
There you go.
The roads are fast, man.
So TalkRadar, new and old eps made my trip a lot easier. As a side note, I think the King of Names sketch is the first time I heard it that week. It happened, and when I first realized how awesome the podcast was going to be, I don't remember what I'm reading this. No idea, joining the forums. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not asking anybody to proofread anything. Keltar93. I'd say 2 moments stick out in my head. I've been listening since episode 91 and was completely hooked to the point where by episode 100 I decided to start listening to the previous 90 episodes. By the time I got to 50, I had reached the summer and I was going away for 6 weeks to be a staff at Boy Scout summer camp. Does anybody have any porn music I can play?
Sounds pretty hot.
Fantastic Four for PS1.
There you
Check
go.
it out. The music.
Unfortunately, it was quite shitty for a while. I was a bunkmate with 2 stoner rednecks who got fired for not hiding their adult porn very well. And the only gamer I could find was a Mega Man Final Fantasy 7 fanboy who would even play the shittiest entries of both. Numerous coworkers were all around dicks. Only my pre-downloaded backlog of 30 episodes was able to hold me together and keep me from hating the whole experience. At least until E3 occurred, and I found all the gamers. We stormed off to the staff lounge and rejected their balls CSI NCIS reruns in favor of watching G4's E3 coverage, thereby turning living hell into one of the best times of my life, culminating staying up till 4 in the morning waiting for the so bad it's good 80s Transformer film to download. Thus bringing an end to a fantastic summer, which I would not have reached without TalkRadar.
Incorrect. It's just good.
I agree.
Good, it's good.
It's so good, it's great.
We all have different opinions on that, but Altair Fogs. I remember listening to Talk Radar 112 and 113 when I was climbing the highest mountain in England. I was trying not to slip.
It was like
I was
400
so
feet.
hard.
Was Colmeany there?
Colmeany?
Colmeany.
It might have been his head. I know Colmeany is. God, he looks just like me.
No.
Yeah, he does.
What?
The guy
The
from
Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain.
Is that him?
He's in that, isn't he?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
He's in Layer Cake.
Yes,
right?
he's also in Layer Cake.
Welcome to the Layer.
And he fixes stuff on spaceships.
You like my Michael Cameron impression?
He's the transporter chief in Next Generation.
Welcome to the Layer Cakes. That's the last time you hear
You
my
eat
Michael
some shit,
Gambon.
you get a little high, you eat a little more.
I watched In Bruges last night. Fucking depressing movie.
I love that movie. That's
Good
not,
God.
I've seen it. Santa Claus 37, whom I love. Last year I took an AP statistics class. For our final project, each student had to plan, execute, and present a project which involved collecting and evaluating statistical data. I decided to see if toast is really more likely to land butter side down. Anyways, as a massive procrastinator, I soon found myself on the back deck at 3 a.m. with 3 giant loaves of white bread, 2 tubs of margarine, and a toaster, and a tarp. The night before the project was due, I toasted, buttered, and tossed 60 pieces of fucking bread, then made a PowerPoint about it. I was literally saving the finished project to a flash drive just as my bus pulled in front of my house that morning. This would have been unbearable, mind-numbing, soul-destroying work. But luckily, that happened to be the weekend that you guys released the treasure known as Talk Radar 100. It kept me laughing and, more importantly, awake throughout the entire night, and I got an A+ on my project.
Wow.
You never told us what the answer is.
You got an A+ on the project, and the answer is no.
Is it no?
Of course it's no.
I don't know if it's no. Do you know the fucking aerodynamics of fucking bread?
It doesn't matter. It's 50-50. It has to be 50-50.
But not when you factor in how a piece of bread falls through the air. A lot of it will matter on the buttering. I'm not saying weight, mass dictates how fast something falls. But a piece of bread is a goddamn sail.
Right.
So if I buttered one side of a sail, that could make a difference.
Was the decision to see if which side lands?
Yes, which side lands.
How is he? Is he dropping them face down, or is he tossing them?
He said from a... Look, I don't have this information.
Chris, why would you do this?
That's what I was saying. I'm moving on.
Chris, why would you stay up all night doing this?
I'm not. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
You just said you did.
It wasn't me! Good! Matt, tell us something about
he was
aliens.
quoting the other guy. Aliens always butter their bread.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Like Matt comes on I beg him to tell alien stories, and you blame Matt for Matt's full of shit. Like Matt he's never said anything one way or the other. He just said, "This is what I've heard."
never seen an alien.
Yeah, Matt's full of shit. Aliens don't exist. And like Matt never said aliens existed.
I said they probably exist.
Of course they fucking... It's like saying, do plants exist in the universe? Of course they fucking do.
Yeah.
They just don't care about you or abduct you or probe rednecks.
Probably not.
Yes.
Fucking limitations of light speed, man. We're all fucked.
Exactly.
We'll probably never, even if they're there, we may never see them.
My biggest problem with the future, according to Star Trek,
yes,
none of their phasers can have different ringtones. It's always the same thing.
That's not a phaser.
Whatever.
Good
Communicator.
God. Good
Communicator
God,
or whatever.
That's like, yeah, my pistol doesn't have a ringtone.
All right, I'm gonna cut your mic.
Okay, yeah, try it. Try it.
Well, I can.
I'll plug that one over there in.
No, you can't. You'll never know what I'm doing. Teaser Tuesday. You may find this surprising, but my favorite moment came from Talk Radar Podcast 69.
Oh, really?
The 69-minute episode that everyone hated. I was new to Talk Radar. It was his third, so I was still having trouble remembering names of all the people in the show. As I recall, it was the first time Chris was gone. Was it? I guess.
It might have been the first time you were completely gone, yeah.
It's not been in the podcast, and so everyone was making jokes about how he was dead. I've never heard this before.
Right.
You should listen to 69.
Since I was a new listener, I thought he was actually dead. And I was then shocked at how everyone was saying how he died having gay butt sex and all... And when I realized, wait, this is the internet. He must not be dead. And
I believe Michael called it a stink finger conga.
Stink finger?
Yes, in that episode.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We daisy chain.
Yes.
I was hooked in this new podcast, and it was the one for me. Thank you, Teaser Tuesday. And then Ofer said, a while back my PS3 died. I was able to revive it, but lost all my save data in the process. And I decided to play through all my old games and some old TDars as well. Because of this, I often connect TDar moments with odd games that don't match up. I connect Talk Radar with collecting blast shards in Infamous. And the top 7 westerns I connect with Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Why were you playing?
It doesn't matter.
It's all right. It's all right.
I love that. I definitely get this too. I attach moments in my life to things I was listening to.
Yeah.
One moment in particular stands out. It's my favorite TDar moment, and it matched the game so well. It's the moment of TalkRadar. I don't know which exactly. I think 76, where one of the Tylers, he also doesn't remember which, was looking for a new apartment. What he found was a cult who puts on plays and the Night Brigade.
Oh my god!
I found this fucking hilarious and was in stitches for about an hour after that. Not literally, mind you. If I did have stitches, your magical podcast would have fixed it. But now the fun part. Try and guess what I was playing when it matched up the scene. Give up? Anybody?
Too human.
BioShock. Playing BioShock.
Wow.
While the Night Brigade played.
BioShock is like one step away from becoming the Night Brigade.
The Night Brigade.
Like, it's one quality layer.
Specifically the fight against Sandra Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
The moment still sticks out as the funniest TDar moment lined up with the best possible game I owned.
Wow.
It's kind of awesome.
So,
but we want to know this week. Hank suggested this, didn't you?
Yes.
So if you haven't had enough Mortal Kombat bullshit crammed down your throat,
it doesn't. This is a very important game. Come on,
it is.
My idea for the question of the week is: what is your favorite Mortal Kombat memory?
If you don't have a favorite one, just a Mortal Kombat memory. Will
Yeah. Like the one that stands out. Even if you hate it, like I would love to know reasons why you hate it, or arcade stories, or if you played it in the PS2 days. And I'm sorry.
Never. Well, so I'll start since I came up with a question. So mine actually involves the first Mortal Kombat film, and not any of the games. Like it was actually. So
they're wrong about that being good.
No, absolutely
not. That's not the discussion we're having right now.
All right, so
we're about to.
No. Let's go back to your theatrical Stockholm syndrome about.
No, anyway, so we're building up to like we were a Genesis home mostly, and so we played Mortal Kombat like all the time, and Mortal Kombat 2. I feel like Mortal Kombat 3 had just come out in 95.
It came out at the same time as the movie, roughly. August of 95.
And so...
I thought the movie came out first, and the movie was the first time I ever saw a URL in a trailer. Mortal Kombat.
You know what the first movie to have its own website was?
No.
Star Trek Generations.
No shit.
Wow. Oh, well, so anyway... Well, the film was timed perfectly.
It's a perfect,
The film was timed perfectly because my little brother's birthday is at the end of August.
Very
cute. So, like, it's he's turning 10, and so like him and all his friends and some of my friends, like my mom bought tickets for all of us to go. So it was a whole party. Like first we ate a bunch of pizza and then went to the movies and like all sat through the movie, and we were just so hyped. All of us were so hyped for the movie that it was just like it was the
only
perfect.
Get worse.
No, it was the perfect environment to see it in. Like I forgave any problems with it, and also all the special effects looked amazing at the time. Every character,
terrible movie, guys.
When the characters appeared,
you're looking at it through the wrong lens, my friend.
Which one is that? A film lens?
Yes.
No, it just everything.
My mistake.
Everything in it just seemed perfect. Like so, it was just such a great time. And then when it ends, like by the time it got to the end with the tease of the next movie with Shao Kahn, like threatening all of them, and then they all get in their fighting stance, like we just like exploded, like the whole.
My whole theater lost its shit.
Yeah, the whole theater just lost it. They were so excited.
One of my friends next to me, when that happened, he had those full gallons of soda they give you when you're like, I just want a small soda. No, here's the fucking 18-ounce, like. The whole crowd is going, whoa! And like he picks up that whole soda and slams it on the ground. It's like, God damn it! Like he was so mad. Like what's gonna happen? Like
I know. And then they took that
fucking shit flew everywhere.
Then they took that excitement and turned it
into the best worst movie I've ever seen.
But yeah,
my God!
So it was such a good time with it. Like. The reptile special effects looked amazing, even though they don't look.
They look bad now for sure.
They look bad now.
They're terrible now.
It was such a great time. It's one of my favorite memories.
That movie I could go on for like to the degree that I go on about the Transformers movie, but not as I don't love it as much, obviously. But I have my whole defense pre-planned. I'm not going to go into it. Don't worry, Chris.
I do think if people think the Silent Hill movie is better than Mortal Kombat, they are not.
They're mistaken. And I liked the Silent Hill movie for what it did.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
I do have one. I was totally obsessed with Mortal Kombat, obviously, when it came out. I bought it on the Super Nintendo. which I don't regret.
I don't either.
It was a more fun game. And yeah, I learned every fatality, this and that. And then I met up with my cousin Wes for the first time in 15 years. So like, who was living with his mother, who is my mother's brother ex-wife. So he's not blood. Like, his mother's not blood.
Right.
He lives way closer, but we went all the way from Florida to Vermont to hang out with this woman that my mother likes. She likes his mother. He's related to me. And I haven't really talked to him that much. And like, all of a sudden we bonded over. It was crazy. We went all the way out to Vermont. There was a field of dandelions, and I think I may have told that story where like I've never seen it, like where I can't see anything but hills and dandelions, and I can pull the car over and I just ran through it, knocking dandelions over. It was awesome. And we drive up to their house. I'm attacked by a duck. The snow has just thawed. It's fucking beautiful. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no one in West is a total gamer. I haven't hung out with him. He's just been talked up. My mom's like, "Oh, you're gonna love Wes. He's a total gamer." He's like, Mortal Kombat, and I'm very intimidated by him. And he's older than me. Mm-hmm. He's very much older than me. I'm like, whatever age Mortal Kombat 1 was still cool.
Probably 11
I was 12?
92 on the Super Nintendo. When it came to home consoles.
12 or 13.
93, actually, on consoles.
He's like, and I couldn't speak to him necessarily, like, games. We have this game called Mortal Kombat. I was like, well, they have these things called fatalities. And then finally I lost it, like, give me the controller. And I knew every fatality, and like I impressed this older gamer. And he's a very devout gamer. He had bought like arcade machines. They were in the. I wish you could see this. God, I wish you could see this house. It's just this house in the middle of nowhere with a flooded basement. And but he bought arcade games, so I impressed a family member who is a gamer, which to this day is the only family member who plays games that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of our first times as cognizant, not adults, but like teenagers talking to one another, and we both made an impression with one another over Mortal Kombat fatalities.
My cousins always beat the shit out of me in games.
It wasn't about that. It was about like, how can we do this fatality? And like, I know the fatality. Like, you beat this guy, and I'll do the fatality.
Aww.
And like to this day, whenever I see my cousin, we're like I see him once every 7 years, and we're like, yeah, dude, Mortal Kombat. Awesome.
That's sweet.
Awesome. Anybody else?
I've got two quick ones. The quick one is, again, with the movie. I mentioned this to Henry and Keist earlier, but I saw that movie 5 times in the theater. I was 14. And pretty much because how horrible the Street Fighter movie was. The fact that it wasn't that bad was like, this is awesome. So, like, I saw it opening night, but then I saw it the next Friday, the next Friday, the next Friday. And then I waited a little bit, but then on 9/9/95, the launch of the PlayStation, got my PlayStation, took it home, played it. Friends came over, played it. We all went to see Mortal Kombat one last time. Like, that one day. And
where?
The theater?
95?
Yeah.
Is that when the movie came out?
Came out in 95, yeah.
August 95.
And then the game.
August 95, and then Mortal Kombat 3 came out at the same time. It was it wasn't a PS3 launch title, but it was near there. But every single time in that movie, there's a scene where I forget who it's Raiden, and it's like Johnny Cage and Sonya walk like, oh, we're lost.
Johnny Lau.
Shang Tsung shows up and he's like derp derp derp, and then he has Sub-Zero and Scorpion walk in together. Like, you see them coming through the door, they push open the door, and every single time, all 5 times, the whole audience is like, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, oh my god, what? Sub-Zero, why? Oh my god, they're the same. Oh my god, this is gonna be a match to remember. Yeah, and then every single time people would whisper like, I can't believe Scorpion's like a month after the movie was out, people were just like, Jesus Christ. Like, and it was amazing. Like, the first time I was one of those like, do you see the screen's only 60 feet wide, but do you see Scorpion and Sub-Zero? They're 12 feet tall. But then,
which I believe that voice is actually Ed Boon. Seriously.
Which Boon?
Get Over Here, and he does it in the movie as well. Get Over Here, right. Scorpion's voice.
Which pissed me off in that movie because you never see Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight, which bothered me because they're under the control of Shang Tsung, and I'm like, why would you throw away the 2 most popular characters?
That's what I didn't understand when they started defining the lore like that, because I didn't realize Scorpion or Sub-Zero were evil or good.
It must have been
before?
well. If you read your instruction manual, you'd know.
No, absolutely not.
The Scorpion from the beginning was the one Sub-Zero killed him and his family, so that rivalry was set. But as to who was evil and good, only Liu Kang and Sonya and were really classified as totally good.
Yeah, Liu Kang was the most boring character to me. I always disliked him.
And when Mortal Kombat 2 came around and they said the canonical ending was Liu Kang won,
I was very disappointed.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
The movie to see Sub-Zero and Scorpion reduced to tools?
They were thugs.
So the thugs. They were thugs.
Yeah, but then the fights they had with Liu Kang, with the Scorpion Johnny Cage fight is fucking cool. That set is amazing. And then the Scorpion, or the Sub-Zero Liu Kang fight's alright. But that, anyway... That memory really sticks out to me. But then the next thing, which makes me very good for this video going up on Friday of all the Mortal Kombat fatalities, like Mortal Kombat 2, we all know, it was all over again. It was like Street Fighter 2 levels of hysteria of like, oh my fucking god, have you seen the arcade as Mortal Kombat 2? We all have to go. And you had to travel to go see it. So then you'd play it there. But then a year later, in October of '94, which was a great month because it also brought Donkey Kong Country and Final Fantasy 3. Mortal Kombat 2 came out. Can I
just say that it came out in arcades first?
Yeah, for a year.
And to this day, I don't know how I would have looked up the release date of the arcade game. So it's just like we just have to keep talking about it. Sort of like a season. Is it winter yet? Is MK2 there? I didn't see it last time.
Well, yeah. I
didn't see it last time.
It was before the internet. It's so weird to think about this in our lifetime.
We're old!
How much it changed. Because when we were in junior high, at least the three of us, Henry's younger, but...
Only a couple of years younger.
No, that's true. In junior high, it was still when's a game coming out in an arcade? Well, the notion of arcades already.
I heard.
Yeah, you hear.
I heard.
Summer vacation, you come back in August, September, and one of your friends is like, dude, over the break, I went to insert city name here because I'm 2 hours from any city, let alone multiple cities. And somebody come back, totally saw Mortal Kombat 2 in the theater. And because there was no way to verify anything, everything sounded like lies. Yeah, there's this guy, his name's Barricade or something, he's got blades that come out of his hands, and Reptile's a playable character, and Shang Tsung's a young guy now, and he can turn it in. It's like bullshit. Not until a magazine 2 months later, when the cycle went through of magazine print media, you could go, oh, that was all true. And the screens are like blurry camera shots of an arcade screen, so it made it mysterious.
No matter who you are listening, when you're young, a month feels like an eternity.
Yeah,
we would not hear it from a magazine. You just have to hear that, oh shit,
total word of mouth.
It's there, and I think Matt has a similar
for me,
story.
I was the person who found it.
Yeah.
So I just went to the theater, and it's it was this movie theater in Sacramento where they have these giant geodesic domes that the theaters are built into, and they have separate buildings, and all of the cheesy lame movies were in the super secondary building that was, and then they had an arcade even in that. They had arcades in both buildings, and so I walked in there. I'm going
glory days of the '90s, man.
I'm going to the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, there it is. Oh my god, Mortal Kombat 2. Holy shit! Oh fuck, I gotta go to the movie. I don't want to see this movie now. I don't want to do it.
They won't let me in without a ticket.
I wanted to abandon the movie and just not even see it. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta play it. I gotta play Reptile. It's the first thing I gotta do. And I did.
And
I played
you were talking
Reptile
on our FAP about how you discovered a machine for the first game.
Well, yeah, the first game was in a comics and cards shop.
Pretend like you never told the story before. It's very cute.
I get. Well, yeah. I mean, all it is that it was this shop that I don't know how maybe someone told me. Yeah, someone told me it was there.
The game is there.
But wait, before that, it's kind of funny because this is how naive I was when I was young. So, the first time I ever heard of any Mortal Kombat, it was probably in EGM.
Yeah.
And they were previewing it, and it was there's this new fighting game coming out called Mortal Kombat, and then they're like, the reason why this is different from other fighting games is because somebody might actually lose their hair. What? And the thing was I don't know if that's a saying. I still don't know if that's a saying.
Did you look? It was ellipses down to the bottom of the page, along with their hair.
No. That's all they said. And then me and my pea-brained kid mind, I was like, why is that a big deal? Somebody's hair falls out? What the fuck? I didn't understand it at all. I didn't know that they were supposed to die.
The worst acceptable typo of all time.
Yeah.
They probably meant
hair head.
Somebody could lose their head makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
It's a phrase. Don't lose your head. Like don't lose your head. No, it's don't lose.
That's like the most important part of the article, and they and it's not just a typo. I mean, head and hair are multiple letter differences.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A copywriter who doesn't know games wouldn't know the fucking difference. Well, I guess.
So when I did see the game and it was like violent, I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, like blew my mind.
And again, this is like at a time when.
But you said you found one at a comic store.
Yeah, Comics and Cards. That's what it was called. The store was called Comics and Cards.
Man,
and I cared about.
You haven't told everybody listening yet. Tell me how you found it. How did you find?
Someone
the store?
told me that it was there, and so like my friend and I got on our bikes and we rode like 2 miles.
Can you believe this shit?
To the store.
I did the same thing, but like hearing you say it, like nobody would do that for a game now.
Right. We rode our bikes 2 miles to the store and then found it. And there was it was like a little cult. Like all these same people would show up at that store every day and play Mortal Kombat.
I just wish my
and none of us ever bought any comics or cards. I never even looked at them. Like I still to this day, like, I would not have known what comics or cards were in that.
It's the same audience. Like I wish our comic stores that we had like 4 local comic stores. If they would have thought, let's get a good arcade game in here, like just get the same audience in here coming. Maybe they'll buy something eventually. Who knows? It'll be a cool place to hang.
It was.
Because of the bowling.
That's how I played Street Fighter 2 as a bowling alley.
The bowling alley became cool after fighting games came out. Because they had, holy shit, dude, they have fucking Tekken. They have Tekken. They have Tekken at the bowling alley. Like, do you want to bowl? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Do you want to drink? No, I have no interest in that. I just want to play Mortal Kombat 2.
That's where I first played Virtua Fighter.
Exactly. Like that was the last place, the venue for arcades, other than arcades. And
the best venue ever in my entire memory was a pizza place near my house called Shakey's Pizza. And like
that's a famous place, is it not?
It was a chain.
Okay.
And like every awesome game you can think of from the 80s, I found there. I found Street Fighter 2 there, Super Mario Brothers 1, like I'd never seen it before, and I played it in the arcade there. I played Final Fight there.
Ooh.
I played Contra, the first Contra I found there. Ikari Warriors.
Hank, did you Godfather's Pizza? Did you have?
Well, no, I had a similar experience in Arkansas when like I was like ages 4 through 8, where like they at Mazio's Pizza. They had like either Donkey Kong or Galaga or Popeye, and like that was those are my like indelible first memories of video games.
Godfather Pizza, Kid Nicky. Wow, Kid Nicky, fucking a beautiful arcade game. A terrible console port.
Yeah, the console one's pretty bad.
My cousin, speaking of my cousins again, like. When their family got an NES, we both sides of our family got an NES at the same time. But we would go over to their house like just to have dinner together, and then like we spent an hour watching them play Kid Nicky. And they're like, "We're so good at this! Look, we can make it all the way to the end." And they were showing off like how good they were at playing it.
The first stage has good music.
It's like being good at the banjo. But nobody gets amusing for a second, and
just
the music is
thinking about how stupid it is. Like an entire like 2 sets of families of 4 watching a kid play Kid Nicky Radical Ninja.
Was it an all-white room?
Yeah, of course.
Was the whole family interacting in some fashion?
Oh.
I'm trying to make a current lifestyle
all white,
Kid Nicky.
But
white, motherfucker. I don't want you up in no Samoan's house playing Kid Nicky.
The rest of my MK2 memory was...
Oh my god.
Hey, what?
I didn't
know that was a tangent.
Yeah, that was all tangent.
Well, he's the executive editor. He gets 2 memories.
Right.
No,
Go for it, Elston.
Yeah, no one else here doubles up ever. It never happens.
No, never happens.
But MK2, when it came home, October 94, and I still have this...
Was that Mortal Monday?
It was.
No, that was the first game.
They had Mortal Monday for the second one.
Maybe they did, but they'd already done it before, so who cares?
Now dates are doesn't
it's not
matter
like
now.
Sonic Tuesday.
No, they had Mortal. It was fucking Mortal Monday officially at 2 when it came home.
Mortal Kombat 1 had an entire ad campaign based around.
And the second one was like it's Mortal Monday again, like where they said Mortal Monday in the commercial.
They say that in the commercial
for the first one. It was for the home version.
I know.
Anyway, MK2, I played so much that even for this video that we recorded this week, and you guys can verify this, did I not have my issue of Game Players magazine from 1994?
You're slightly incorrect.
That has all the fatalities listed in it, and there's a permanent crease in that magazine that's open to those 2 pages. Yes, a couple of them are wrong, which made me very confused as a kid. And again now, when I'm like, why the fuck isn't this working? And I had to go to Cheat Planet.
It's weird. It's weird. You have a copy editor. But who the fuck is your cheat copy editor?
Yeah, I know. That verifies that these things work.
This fatality doesn't work. I'm so glad you caught that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But,
You should take that to Chris Slate.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was there. It was that's a future magazine when it was called Imagine Media, when it had attitude and personality. But I looked at that magazine and I got to the point with Mortal Kombat 2 where I would just play as Shang Tsung and morph into.
You told me that. I was so mad at you.
I morphed into whoever I was fighting, and I would beat everyone.
Most everybody had the decency not to do
with
that.
their character,
What
and
I
then
couldn't
do their fatality against.
What
that.
I couldn't believe is that the game didn't put anything else in place against that.
I know, it's really strange.
It's basically because no character was any better against another than another.
Not particularly, no.
In the second one, like why wouldn't you stop that? Like you can't use that if you wanted to be a tournament play. No Shang Tsungs they'd put on the fucking bulletin board.
Yes, I can be any character. So that was interesting.
Can we do phone calls?
That's my memory. I just love 2 a lot, so...
Sorry, my battery's about to die.
That's it.
Let's see.
I love that. If you can do it like a phone call.
Yo, what up, TalkRadar?
Hi.
This is Captain Commando from the forums, and I had one question for anybody
You're a great assist.
who's on the podcast right now, and it is, if you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing video game related, whether it be buy this game, invest in this, or don't do this, what would it be? Anyway, that was it. I love this week's top 7, which was the most nightmarishly bad alternate game endings, and I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it. Keep doing the podcast. You're doing great work. Bye.
I would say don't bother with PC gaming. It'll be dead by the time you buy the hardware. Oh, look at that. Man has his tongue pierced. I never knew that.
You must have known that.
No, I have never looked that deeply in your mouth. I'm usually caught up
you don't
in your...
see the flash of metal when
caught
I
up
talk?
in your eyes or dick.
Right. Which is also pierced. No, not really.
It better be.
You really didn't know I had a tongue piercing?
No, I really didn't.
Yeah, I've had it for like
Matt,
10
you're a
years.
fascinating individual,
No, wait,
and like we've had to work together so much this week. That's the only we spend a lot of time around one another. We never talk otherwise.
Sorry.
That's all right. You're on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
I'm happy we talked this week. I'm happy we did a bunch of stupid shit.
You can come by and talk to me anytime you like.
I told you today, and you looked at me
this
like you would
is
have
boring on
hit me.
drunk.
I love you, man.
I love you. No, for real.
On a professional level, seeing Matt upset over something that was going on in the video room, like, man, I've never seen you upset at work before. I'm upset every 20 minutes being at work. Like, I'm happy to know, like, what's occurring in this room is not my fault. It just gets people upset.
Ask Mike Grimm if he ever hears me upset, because when I'm reviewing games at my desk, I curse and I get pissed constantly. It probably annoys him. He's probably trying to do work.
No,
I'm always going, fucking
Grim
bullshit.
Keeps a log of it. He showed me this log. I'm like, what's this? And like, this is like every day Henry chokes on water.
Really?
No, he keeps like weird logs on like everything. Like every time I yell burp, it's a yell burp. I didn't yell burp,
right?
But I yell burp, and like
my dad does that.
Yeah,
no. Like every time my dad burps, he goes burp.
Yes,
he has to say it while he's burping. He has to.
I like saying belch because I read Mad Magazine.
Well, Rich, who has never been on the podcast, but everyone here knows Rich. He, ever since I lived with him in like 02, or not 02, 04 and on, every time he burps, he'll go Ralph. And then
during the burp?
Like, during the burp, he'll go Ralph, and then pause.
And you have
the
to
next
say
burp,
back to him, Alice.
The next burp is Nader. Or if he's got a long one, he'll go Machio.
What I want to know is if he does that when he's by himself.
I've heard him, like, because we lived in the same house, so I'd hear, like, from the hallway down, like, faintly, like, oh.
Right, so it's technically an empty room.
I have to tell you, I developed this burp to be cool in elementary school. So, like, I don't know I'm doing it, and, like, Lizzie saying ooh was at least some acknowledgement that I shouldn't be doing that in public. But it's just I'll get mad at like, oh, the CMS isn't loading. Like it's me yelling without yelling.
I somehow developed that loud hiccup I have. That
I think it's the same thing.
I've gotten so used to that.
What I love is that Carolyn
like
developed it too.
Noise.
She never had it before.
Huh? It's just this loud. And wait, I might be able to.
It's a little. I want a little bubble to come out and you to be drunk.
Right,
like Sniffles the mouse.
Yes.
Next phone call, please.
Hey, TalkRadar. This is KO King Kid from the forums. Brett, Right now, I'm looking at a copy of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. For
I
Super
tweeted
Nintendo.
this guy already.
It is $20, good condition, no box. Should I buy it? I have never played a Zelda game, and I own a Super Nintendo, and I would love to play my first Legend of Zelda game, but I don't want to go buy a regular Nintendo. So I'm wondering if this is a good deal and if it's worth it. I don't know if it's too hard or whatever.
Well, hopefully,
if you can give me your advice, it'd be great. Thank you.
You called me from a pawn shop a week ago, so I don't know that it's still there. But I also tweeted him back, and I was kind of confused by this because I said yes. If it's $20, I know it's cart only, but like it is one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah,
and I think there's a timelessness to the 2D Zeldas, but I wouldn't recommend one or two. They're a little bit hard to get into. They're not very helpful about where to go next. Zelda 3, which is what we called it before it earned Link to the Past subtitle.
I don't know.
Link to the Past does a little bit better job of moving a story along and at least kind of directing you where to go while still giving you a lot of freedom. So absolutely, you should buy.
I don't remember much of the story.
Still looks good.
It still looks great.
It looks fun
because sprites don't fucking age, and all those N64 PS1 games look like goddamn garbage. Anyway, but what baffled me about this was I didn't hear this phone call till now, but I talked back and forth. I'm like, do you have a Super Nintendo? Because you'll have to buy one. He's like, no, I already have a Super Nintendo. So wait, you have a Super Nintendo, but have never played a Zelda game ever. And are wondering about buying Link to the Past. I'm like, well, yeah, you should buy Link to the Past.
I'm wondering about all of it. Who would sell a Super Nintendo without all their games?
Yeah.
And who was selling a Super Nintendo wouldn't have Link to the Past?
But then I also, in the tweet, he was like, I'm just worried about it because it's kind of old. But then I'm like, well, you have a Super Nintendo still in working order, which suggests you're used to old games. I was just completely baffled by the scenario.
Yes,
but ultimately,
you're using Twitter and you have a computer, emulators and ROMs and all that good stuff.
Other good ways to play that game.
ROMNation.net.
Absolutely. If you haven't already,
Link to the Past holds up lovely.
It's a fantastic game. I think it's a great introduction to Zelda.
I just wish his hair was yellow instead of purple.
It's all right.
It's a good modern Zelda.
It's a great one.
I mean, it's good. It's a good template. Like even better than the first Zelda. Like this is what a Zelda series is.
It is.
This is the villagers. This is the areas. This is how
it's the template that Ocarina of Time followed and transferred into 3D. It powered Link's Awakening, both the Oracle games, Minish Cap. Like everything that Link to the Past did became the mainstay.
There's a couple of references into Zelda 1 and 2, but most of it, it's definitely Zelda.
It's more akin to Zelda 1 with a couple of elements from 2, like the towns and magic.
You probably thought about this every day. Like it just sort of occurred to me that like Zelda the Past is probably the template for the modern Zelda.
It is number 6 on our top 100 list.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Number 5 or 6.
We don't talk about that anymore.
That's Wind Waker.
Oh, it's Wind Waker, right?
I have a weird,
sweetie, go ahead.
Weird detail for an argument for picking up Link to the Past. I love the way the world of that game looks so much that if you put a poster of the overworld in front of me right now, I would stare at it for like 10 minutes.
Yes, you just like lose
I would
yourself.
look at all the little corners and be like,
I would do
that little place.
I would do that
because I did that before the game came out when it was like in Nintendo Power and they were showing pictures of the overworld. I was like, oh my god, I want to be in that world.
Yes, something about those maps that they would make. Like they weren't art assets. They would have to like commission someone to draw a rough sketch of what the world map looked like. The Zelda 1 instruction book comes with what looks like a diorama of the entire overworld, and it's just in the background, and I fucking stare at that forever. Phone calls.
Hey guys, it's Michael.
What?
Sorry I couldn't be there this week, but I'm in Seattle and LA, seeing a bunch of obscure games you've probably never heard of.
Michael.
Sometime this year, like Infamous 2, and Twisted Metal, and Ratchet & Clank all for one, and Uncharted 3, and Resistance 3. So I couldn't be there, but they're all pretty awesome so far, and I hope you guys are having fun, so take care.
Very polite.
Isn't it great? Like,
nice. That's nice.
Somebody might have asked him to do this, but it's like exactly 30 seconds. I'm just playing Resistance 3, Infamous 2, and like 30 seconds. Look what you did, Michael.
Right on the dot.
I'm jealous that he's playing Uncharted 3 or will be playing Uncharted 3.
Oh, yeah.
Or will have been.
Next one, I'm going to eat tonight, and we have to go.
Hey guys, this is Boxing Wonko.
Thank you, son.
I just got back from the Anamanaguchi concert over here in Milltown, in LA. It was the awesomest thing ever. I want to thank you guys for introducing me to them, because that was my first concert, one of the best experiences ever. Thank you so very much. Love the podcast. Love you guys. Bye.
If I take pride in anything from this stupid show, it's Anamanaguchi Scott Pilgrim Taste! I whip that upon you. Taste, a matter of taste. Yes,
I've read about that venue, Meltdown Comics in LA. Sounds awesome.
It's a Nerdist thing, right?
Nerdist goes there too, but it's basically the back room of a comic book store, and like comic and nerdy comedians also perform there too.
I'm just saying, maybe if you're in the LA area in the first week of June, you're near Meltdown Comics. I'm just saying,
what the fuck are you
clear your
saying?
fucking schedule.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's the first I've heard. Anyway.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Broken Steel 1228 here again, and I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you a funny thing that happened to me. I was in the grocery store the other day, Albertsons. I was going to get some milk, and funny thing. I was listening to your podcast because I was bored. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk in. There's nothing to do. I'm gonna listen to TalkRadar. I think it was when you guys would be like, "Hey, hi," like from Sesame Street, and I laughed my ass off. There was like two people right next to me, and they were just staring at me, and then the guy who was putting the milk in, he was like, are you laughing out loud? I'm like, oh, I'm listening to a podcast. He's like, oh, a podcast. I'm like, TalkRadar. And he's like, oh, okay, I understand that. So I thought that was funny. He's like, we laughed and we said,
nice.
All right, so bye. It was a little awkward for saying that. I can't. Funny. So I just wanted to give you guys a little story, and TalkRadar made my life happy, and I didn't have a sad story. Oh, by the way, my dog died.
I'm glad I said yay over his dog dying. Let me get through the rest of the
Hey, TDar. Love your Pizza Center podcast. Name's Eamon, or otherwise known as the Restaurant Fish on the site. Just finished reading your top 100 games of forever. Like to know, but I noticed a tiny, teeny problem. I noticed Custer's Revenge, for some reason, wasn't at number one. On my mind, Gray's piece of evidence for the games or arguments just seems kind of unfair, wasn't even on the list. Any reason for that? Anyway, thanks, bye.
I didn't feel the raping of a Native American woman was depicted accurate.
What are you talking about? We used to be able to get away with it.
I know.
Awesome, man. I would love Pocahontas to have sex with me whenever next phone guy.
Fuck. I'm listening to 144, and you guys are talking about anime and manga, which I love, and you are not mentioning One Piece. You motherfuckers! It's the longest running manga/anime in Japan. It's like X-Men meets Pirates of the Caribbean. There's real character growth, and the story has a plan, and you're not talking about it. Oh, fuck! Are you kidding me? Seriously? No. No to you. I say no. What about Cowboy Bebop? Who even are you? I don't even know who you are anymore. I am so hurt.
That whole ass shit, man. Some whole ass shit.
God. Wow. That's a pretty good scream.
I watched an episode of One Piece and Cowboy Bebop, and then I found a different show, which made them all look vastly inferior. Have you heard of the show 2.5 Men? It's really, really good. It's about this guy who can't grow up. And
which one's the half a man? I don't even know.
The equation I can't work
Charlie
out.
Sheen's dick.
It's Charlie. It's Charlie Sheen.
It's him and Washout from Hot Shots just having a kid together.
Or is that fat kid who got lucky and is now a millionaire?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
You know, I really love Cowboy Bebop. I hate to be honest here.
Next phone call.
I can't get into One Piece.
Hey there.
I've tried.
I guess the Atomic Coyote, not really a former member.
I'll try again.
But I have a question to you
for One Piece.
You guys. I sound sexual, don't I? Okay, why don't you say murder boner in the TDar? Come on, it's awesome. Murder boner, murder boner, murder boner. You need some murder boner now.
Big murder boner. That's from Bulletstorm? Bulletstorm?
I guess.
We had the debate whether the guy was saying faggots or maggots.
He does not.
You said it because you saw it in the subtitles.
Yeah, I accidentally left the subtitles on, so when he said ass maggots, I called them you ass maggots. It's a little hard. You might hear it. It wouldn't be impossible to hear him.
I don't know if this is a big city thing, but like we're very annoyingly liberal people. Something about your wireless router, which we did name the ass faggots at my last house. Seriously, okay, if you walk into my neighborhood, you see like, fuck you, stay the fuck. That's the name of every Wi-Fi thing. Like the router name is to scare you away from using it.
Oh,
I
see.
Eat shit, bitch. And like, oh man, but it has 5 bars. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Ours is called Big Pussy.
Why don't they just secure the router?
Because it's easier to scare you away. And it was like really funny. Like we lived in a big building and we called ours the ass faggots. And it wasn't my choice. But then like eventually we'd be outside having a cigarette or drinking. Like, oh my God, you guys are the ass faggots. It's fantastic. I was wondering who the fuck did that. No, but everybody, I get it. Like I don't want people using my router either.
You need to be careful with that. Where Kobe Bryant got fined $100,000.
What did you say that made me laugh?
Well, I wondered how much he got fined for those rape charges. If it was more or less.
Yes.
He called
a straight ref a fag.
Yeah, but he called a ref made some call and he said faggot to him.
But
and it was caught on TNT, like on the mic, and so.
But he raped a girl with a vial of Nutella. That's just the last time I saw him in a bottle.
You know those bottles are not slim.
No, exactly. They're
jars.
They're jars.
They're tubs almost.
I don't think he actually was. I don't think he was found guilty.
I don't think I would be. I don't think I would be found guilty of rape as a millionaire either. It'd be awesome. I could do anything I wanted.
The rules and stipulations for rapists in this country are woefully inaccurate. Like people get probation for that.
I'm saying you would be
surprised. You won't rape anyone else.
You would be surprised of the rape I've gotten away with as a thousandaire, which I used to be. I'm not anymore. I work for Games Radar. I'm a dozenaire. All right, fine.
Hey, TalkRadar, it's Phazon117, and
what up?
With all the Street Fighter news that's been coming out lately, I wanted to know what's your favorite Street Fighter character of, I don't know, all time, or I guess in just 4. Personally, mine has to be Akuma, but that's just me. Thanks for the show.
I'd point everyone to the shirt I'm wearing. Blanca since 1991.
Big Blanca fan, big Edmund Honda fan. Like him a lot.
I'm all Blanca all the time, and then Super 4 I branched out to Jury, which we used to do those live streams with Friday Night Fights or whatever they were, which we're getting live stream capabilities back on our own.
Please don't say things that will never happen.
It has to happen for E3, so it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I'd say Blanca's my boy too. Like, first time I ever played Street Fighter, I saw him. I'm like, I have to play him.
Yeah,
I always
played him first.
I always pick the monster weird, like
Me too.
like Lizard Man.
I did,
Reptile.
But I saw a lot of people using him, and his moves are were very transferable to E Honda at the time.
Kind of, yeah.
And I can 100-hand slap in the
electricity
shock is like the same.
See, Mortal Kombat 2, I picked Baraka because he was a monster dude with blade hands.
Baraka.
I always went with
Reptiles.
I always went with old brushhead Guile. He was my favorite because
me too.
I like the Sonic. I like the Sonic Boom, and also I'm not the best at fighting games, and I found his lightning kick very easy to do. So
what the fuck are you talking about?
I like the kick in the air,
the flash kick.
Flash kick.
Right.
Sorry,
but Chun-Li is a lightning.
All of his charge moves, like when Turbo came out, all of Bison's moves are better than all the charge moves. I'll Psycho Crush the shit out of anybody and Turbo Kick.
Because that move was overpowered.
Exactly. I beat the fuck out of everybody with that.
Actually, Chun-Li is my secondary.
You can punish a Psycho Crusher pretty easily.
Well, I usually use the...
I think you have to be better than that person to do it.
All right, we gotta go. I'm gonna close this out with the same new Mortal Kombat album, Goro's theme. Yeah. Oh, look at that perfect timing. Wow. That's my battery. Goro's theme. Bird Peterson. He's doing Goro's theme off of the Mortal Kombat songs inspired by The Warriors, which makes me think, was this inspired by my favorite movie? No, it's inspired by this silly game. But we're out.
And not the Golden State basketball team.
No. What would they inspire anybody to do other than cancel their season tickets?
I
made a sports joke. Finish him.
It is no longer combat time.
Fatality.
Yeah.